An icon reborn. A new season begins. Drivers must face off wheel to wheel with only one goal: to be crowned champion. Experience the competition and the glory days of early 80s IndyCar action. Hear the song of 500 horsepower Cosworth engines. Watch as drivers wrestle these ground effects cars into submission. Without electronic driver aids, it creates the perfect combination of man, machine, and speed. The Lionheart Retro Series, presented by HPP Simulation, starts now.
The track, one of the most legendary raceways in the world. The nickname harkens back to days when mechanics rode in the cars. The car is a historic machine that brings back memories of the glory days of Formula One. The Lionheart Retro Series Season 2 schedule moves on to the Brickyard. Get strapped in for the SimPit 250 here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Welcome to the Global Sim Racing channel and the Countdown to Green presented by the SimPit. GSRC is going to bring you all the on-track Lotus 79 retro action live as it happens. But first, as cyberspace flows into your place over these 15 Steamy Award-worthy minutes, we'll bring you all the storylines, all the stats, and facts you'll need to appreciate the SimPit 250 here tonight. And that will immediately follow as we count down to green. Good evening, I'm Adam Young, and joining me up in the box tonight, and we're all waiting to see what Soupism gets dropped tonight. Bill Soups on, our director Amjad Yarman, armed with cameras located, aimed, and zoom focused, also by GSRC camera guru Dougie Beard. Well, Loudon proved to be an exciting one, a mix of strategy, fuel mileage, and a late power move that got Dustin Wardlow up front, where he ran away from Michael Goodman and Alex Saunders in the closing laps. But tonight, it might take a little bit more than that. This is the site of the most exciting finish from 2017. We want to go take a moment and go relive that last lap from 1 year ago where this 250-miler came down to a one-lap shootout. Yep, and so the Mustang pace car is getting ready to pull off. We're getting ready to see the green and the white flag at the same time. Welcome to Friday morning on the East Coast. We're going back green at Indy for one lap. Joe Branch out in front. Jason Galvin running second for this one-lap shootout. And you got Joe Hassett back there in third position. Jason Galvin riding in the draft in that wake of Joe Branch. But he has to go defensive with Joe Hassett back there as well. Joe Branch is going to hold on to the lead, at least coming out of two. They're snaking around. Jason Galvin's going to get to the outside of him. Looking like a three wide here. Joe Hassett on the outside going into turn three. There, wheel to wheel, three wide. Little bit of contact there. Jason Galvin gets bumped just a little bit. He's coming down. Joe Hassett's right there as well. Joe Hassett's going to have a lot of momentum here coming off of more. They are coming down to the line. Oh, Jason Galvin gets third. He's in the air. Stouffer is going to win this race.
Wardlow. Oh no, Wardlow, excuse me, but someone's flying across the front stretch like crazy. Holy cow. What a race. What a finish. Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
The DwarsCandy.com is
Ryan Otis. And of course, last year that was Tanner Sharp who joined me up in for this race, filling in for Bill. So Bill got to miss the craziest finish yet at the entire Lionheart Retro Series, in my opinion. Not the closest, but the craziest. Were the fifth place car coming out of turn four. In fact, he got past the pit wall, the entrance to the pit straight in fifth place, came away with the win, and of course that was Dustin Wardlow. And tonight he's coming in off his first win of the season 2 just 2 weeks out. But Bill, we're hearing it might be a bit of a different race than 1 year ago. Our intel is saying the aero push is more significant, so it might not be as much of a pack race. It's going to be one thing we're going to have to keep an eye on. But there is one thing that doesn't change much from year to year: Indianapolis. So for the track that needs no introduction, Bill, introduce us.
Let's start by talking about John and Paul, and I'm not talking about Lennon and McCartney. No, I'm talking about Barry and McCullough. Who, you might ask? John Barry and Paul McCullough. They were the first race winners here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway way back in 1969. Get this, they went 380 miles, but it took them 35 hours. Why so long? Because they were racing in a gas-filled balloon. 69 years later, Mario Andretti had an undistinguished 12th place finish in the Indianapolis 500. But don't feel too bad for poor Mario, because that very same year, 1978, he raced the weapon of choice today, the Lotus 79, to a Formula One World Championship. Today, we blend all those parts together. We take the Lotus 79 and we race it here at Indy. And the hot air, well, that comes courtesy of our lead commentator, Adam Young. If you've been living under a rock and you don't know about Indy, with apologies to Mr. Adams, my 8th grade geometry teacher, Indy is a 4-corner oval, 2.5 miles in circumference. Ground effects should help the driver stick through these low bank turns. But to really get an idea of what it's like to race this old car around this even older racetrack, let's go on board for a video lap.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the Lotus 79. Indianapolis Motor Speedway is the perfect ground for this classic car. Makes it a perfect combination between the two. So without further ado, here we go. Off into turn one. When the grandstands fill in, it feels like you're driving into a tunnel, but you're going to turn in just after the stoplight on the wall. Bring it right out here towards the wall in the short chute. Swing it right back down here, getting those tires just underneath the white line. Swinging it off a turn two down the long back stretch. This is where you can start to get your draft. Plot your passes. It's very often at Indianapolis. The pass that you make on the front stretch is set up going down the back stretch right here. Into turn three, screaming into the corner. Getting those tires underneath the white line to the rumble strips, back out towards the fence. Straight down into the corner of turn four. Sweeping through here, coming off of the majestic turn four, down that long front stretch. Everything coming in, down the tunnel vision. You're setting up for your run. But here we go, across the yard of bricks, and that is going to complete our track guide here around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I'm Brian Yazik. Enjoy the show.
And there's a lap around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the Retro 79 machine. For those of you playing the Soup Makes a Mistake consumption game, take a drink, as that balloon race was obviously in 1909, not 1969. Hey, better refill your glasses because now I have a plug to read too, and there's probably a mistake due here. Everything on this broadcast today in the pre-race show, including that video and my mistake, comes courtesy of the SimPit, an entertainment channel dedicated to sim racing. Its mission is to bring you news, reviews, and information from around the world about sim racing hardware and software. It also focuses on what it takes to be a better sim racer, with instructional videos and how-tos that will help your performance on the virtual track. Check it out at thesimpit.com.
Well, thank you for that, Bill. Well, hey, Wardlow's win 2 weeks ago makes him the 5th different winner here this season. And we've still got 7 races to go, including tonight. But it also keeps him in the hunt for the championship. But we're heading into a night where someone's championship dreams could come crashing down or rocketing off the pad. It's the second leg of the Triple Crown in a double points night here this evening. Bill, show us the point standings and who is in the danger zone with a lot to gain or lose tonight.
All right, we're going to start with the Retro Series Driver Championship presented by HPP Simulation. These results reflect the best 9 of 11 possible results, taking into account the 2 drop races allowed for in the rules. Adam Blocker for Adrenaline Motorsports has 3 wins and continues to mind the gap back to Alex Saunders in second. Where the bloom is off the rose, the Nighthawk driver has 5 wins, but it has been 3 races since he last got to the finish line first. If you can sprinkle dew on a sunrise, then you can win at New Hampshire. That is just what Dustin, the Candyman Wardlow, did for Raven Motorsports. The top 6 all hold station. Jason Galvin is the big climber to 7th after coming home 4th last time out. And welcome to the graphic, Jimmy Brandt in 15th. His best finish was a 5th at Phoenix. Let's go ahead and look at the team championship sponsored by Clipping That Apex. Now, when it comes to new leader in the team standings, Raven Motorsports answers nevermore. As the Blackbirds won the day at New Hampshire by an impressive 18 points, Dustin Wardle got the win. We talked about Galvin coming home in 4th. And how about this? Samuel Ryman came home in the Baker's Dozen spot. Edward Hopper, Google it, boys and girls, will be happy as the Nighthawk team climbs the spot on the ladder, now into 7th. Alex Saunders and Greg West were the New Hampshire duet that finished 4th on the day. Okay, Adam, you get to talk about the rookies.
Yeah, hey, an interesting little stat that got thrown my way earlier today was the fact that over half of the Retro Series roster right now is made up of rookies. And this has obviously been a competitive championship now with Alex Saunders and Michael Goodman vying for that top spot. We thought Alex Saunders might run away with it. Yazik, hey, Brian, you're sitting pretty comfortably in 3rd here right now. So things are looking pretty good for those folks. Of course, Mark Amuck was able to move up 2 spots, moving up into 9th. So he's now in the top 10 with Graffenbeard sliding back a spot after what we saw at Loudon. So, of course, one thing we want to mention, Lionheart sanctions both this Retro Series and the Big Sister IndyCar Series, and both campaigns honor the memory of the original Lionheart, Dan Weldon. Now, we're going to go to the series details here in just a few minutes, Soup, but I want to go ahead and skip ahead just a touch. I want to talk about the cars on the track right now, qualifying now underway. Some of the guys getting ready to start setting their first times here real quick. And Soup, if anything, what we saw last year was some very quick cars, but they couldn't pull away from one another. Pack racing was a big thing. We already talked about maybe Aero Push enhancing that, maybe taking a little bit of that away. Have you been hearing anything along those lines?
Yeah, I think compared to what we saw last year, I think qualifying is going to play a bigger part in this race. Because last time it was pack racing and passing was available if you really wanted to force the issue. Here, because I think of the push, I think passing is going to be at a premium, and you really don't want to have to work too hard through the field. And talk about the field, it's a pretty big field today, too.
Yeah, you know, and we're talking, I believe, what were we saying? I haven't done the latest count here in the last few minutes, Soup, but I think we were talking 35 cars a little while ago. I'll have to see if that's been changed at all. But the first times coming in, Dan Guerin so far sitting on the provisional pole with a 48.83. Alex Saunders a 48.836. These guys are getting 2 laps here today. And I do believe with the way that Indianapolis works with these cars, I'm thinking their second lap might be the quickest. We'll have to see here in just a moment. But obviously, I mean, we're talking not hundredths of a second, thousands of a second separating the top qualifiers here so far.
Yeah, I guess maybe the second lap might be faster because of the lighter fuel. I give up trying to figure out the tires. Last race we did on this one, it was a first for us here at GSRC, where the winner actually complained, or the race was lost because he had on 2 new of tires. That's a new one.
I'm watching Andrew Kinsella in the car that I like to call Miss Budweiser, because it always reminds me of the hydroplane, and I always got to mention that once a broadcast, so there, it's out of the way early. But Andrew Kinsella sitting with the 48.854. We talked about the second lap being the better lap. Soup, it's better for these guys by almost 0.3 of a second in a lot of cases.
When I was 18-year-old, graduated from high school, me and my buddy made it up to Idaho, and we saw the beautiful Miss Budweiser right there way back in the 70s. Looks just about like that car right there.
All right, well, here's Dustin Wardlow. Dustin is getting ready to come across for the completion of his second lap. We'll see where he filters out, and then we'll go ahead and talk about those series details. He comes across the line, 48.566. You know, that's going to put him down. Let's see, I'm waiting for my standings here to update. P3, all right, there he is. All right, so P3, so good run there for Dustin Wardlow. As Dan Guerin, Bob Mikas, and Dustin Wardlow making up the top 3 here so far. But Soup, the series details, I mean, obviously we're heading into, well, and now into the back half of the season.
Yeah, you know, we got to get to the guys in the GSRC graphic department, because I'll talk about these, but there's one thing that really needs to be on here for this one. We are indeed in Season 2. It's round 11 to 18. You can see that they get to drop 2 races indicated by those 2 droplets there. We've talked about the car. Now, this is important. The setups, they are fixed, but they're not the baseline setups on iRacing. The guys get together, and they have their little squad of guys that come up with the setup that they think is going to be competitive. We think it's going to be a little bit pushy today. We'll see how that plays out. Cash and prizes, $4,391, including some great equipment from HPP Simulations. The one little line that was left off of there, they could have squeezed in a 6th item. This one's really important. This is a Triple Crown event. Double points.
Yeah, Soup, and that's going to obviously play a big role tonight. Now, you always give me a hard time about having you do the weather as opposed to me. Well, I'm going to throw you a curveball. I'll handle the weather here real quick. Good. It's a hot one out there. That upper Midwest, that is searing right now. That air temperature about 86 degrees. That track temperature, well, it's kind of come up 32 degrees. I'm pretty sure it's a little bit warmer than that. Actually, track temperature right now up over 100, like 113. Winds out of the south. Now, here's the big part. In iRacing, this really plays a role. Winds out of the south at 16 miles an hour. So combine that with the really hot track temperature, Soup, these cars, they might be moving around in ways we don't want them to. I think maybe a little bit less so than if track temperature of 32 degrees, but, you know, it happens.
God bless the director. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. All right, boy, they're gridding them up right now. Maybe is it we're going to wait till they start to roll, I guess, before we look at the onboard cameras. How about Bob Mikas? What about Bob Mikas in 2nd place? Is that a boy for the Von Hansen meeting?
Yeah. Let's talk about that grid here real quick. Winning the pole as qualifying is now up. We're waiting the cars to all take the grid. Dan Guerin running away with that pole, but just over 4 thousandths of a second over Bob Mikas. That's going to make up your row 1.
The Candyman Dustin Wardlow is going to be inside. Hey, look at this. Brian Beard in 4th.
Michael Goodman and Alex Saunders are going to make up row 3, and lots of contenders up front in this one, too.
Justin Weaver in 7th, Greg West in 8th.
And Chris Lanini and then Adam Blocker are going to make up row 5.
There are some newcomers here tonight. Haven't seen many of them yet. Here's some veterans, Jason Galvin and Ron Hacker in 11th and 12th.
And then from there, George Anzaldo, series organizer, he's going to be starting alongside Vern Hawkins III.
In 15th, Andrew Havakech, Kinsella, Mark Amick in the Sweet 16 spot.
Scott Johnson and Ken Hacker are going to make up row 9.
He's on the rookie standing, Samuel Ryman in 19th. He's inside of Frank Beazer.
Yeah, Samuel Ryman, by the way, leading the cleanest driver award here so far. Only 8 incidents this entire season for Sam. Michael Lawler and Tyler Graff are going to make up row 11.
Mix it up a little bit there, Sammy. And we got Cody Wenzen in the 23rd position. He's inside of veteran James Grahula.
And then in row 13, we got Chris Stouffer and Drew Adamson.
In the 27th spot, it's Robert Milk Dudley. He's going to be flanked by Chris Walker.
And a guy that we've seen go fast at times this season, he's got a lot of room to make up here tonight. Robert Lewin's going to start 29th in the inside of row 15. Outside him is going to be Bart Workman.
And then we got some guys who are sandbagging. Started with Jake Wright back here and Brian Yazik needing one put in a qualifying time.
Yeah, Mark Cohn and Cody Eldred will be back there. I'll round it out here real quick. Soup in row 18, another guy probably just wanting to stay out of trouble early. Travis Yeagerliners alongside him, be Anthony Rice, and then David Cordy, who I believe David Cordy's up in race control here for this evening. All right, so onboard cameras here real quick as the car's rolling on the backstretch. We start with Dustin Wardlow in that Raven Motorsports machine. He's going to be sponsored here tonight by Viva Motorsport. Robert Lewin's going to be in the number 96 car, the Dragonfly Racing machine, brought to you by the Dragonfly Racing. Mike Goodman is going to be riding on board with the butt kicker camera in car number 99. Good view out the back there. And George Anzaldo will be riding with the SimPit camera. All these guys are probably going to be giving us some good views here for today. And we're getting ready to go to green here in Indianapolis. Sue, this is a race that a lot of people have been waiting for really since the last one ended, and I don't think it's going to disappoint at all here tonight as, well, these Lotus 79 cars put on a heck of a show here for sure. Mustang pace car getting ready to pull off the track. We're going green to Indianapolis. Cars are coming up to song. Coming across the yard of bricks for the first time under power. Dan Guerin's going to get an early jump on the lead. He'll take the field going down into 1. Bob Mikas is going to slide in behind him, and Dustin Wardlow all behave for the top 3. Don't get side by side till Brian Beard. Brian Beard sliding back just a spot or two here right off the start, but they're going single file now through the short chute and through turn 2.
Single file back of the pack, 2 by 2 up front, though, as that battle for the front continues in a tight race.
Yeah, so these guys are really already getting up to speeds up over 175. We'll see probably speeds upwards of 185, maybe a little bit faster than that on the straightaways. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody hit 190 here today as well, especially in that draft once the momentum gets up. But that side-by-side battle, Soup, you know, what we were talking about earlier was, is pack racing going to be a thing? And I think so far the answer is yes, it's still going to be a thing here tonight, at least early.
Well, trying to make that inside line work is Dan Guerin, and he's going to get it. But the momentum, the kickoff from Bob Mikas, I think, is really fighting. There's a lot at stake here. That's clean air. There's a big difference between being in first. I know this is going to seem obvious, and second. If you're in first, it's a lot better than being in second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth, or seventh.
This is true. You're going to want that clean air up front, particularly early, as right now that's what Dan Guerin has, and that's what Bob Mikas wants. Great view out of Dustin Wardlow's cameras. He's going actually a little bit higher. Saw some cars trying to run that high line earlier in practice, and, well, particularly coming out of 2, it didn't work out the greatest. I think feeling the wind had something to do with that. Bob Mikas actually edges Dan Guerin out there at the line to technically lead that lap, but Dan Guerin back out in front by the time they hit 1 and 2.
That's right. You know, with 250 miles to go and a 10:50 p.m. start time on the East Coast, a lot of these drivers just want to get some green flag laps in.
Well, so far we're green early, and that's exactly what I think these leaders want to see, is maybe try to see things filter out a little bit, maybe get some separation on the field. But everybody very well behaved here so far, even running side by side. Haven't seen any crazy moves, but Bob Mikas right now on the inside here trying to hold off Dan Guerin. Now Dan Guerin forced to the outside as Alex Saunders trying to get up here and get into this fight for the lead.
Mikas did get credit for leading that lap, though. And now he's down on the low side with Guerin on the top. Saunders and Wardlow, those top four, continue to battle it out.
Yeah, that's true. They're going side by side for almost like the start of the race here, and then but from Michael Goodman on back is when it starts to get single file once again, and for at least a few cars. Now we want to go back just a little bit. Ron Hacker right now trying to hold off Andrew Kinsella. Give those guys a mention. Trying to fight for some spots here just outside the top 10. It's some of those guys getting close back there. I think that was George Ansaldo and Vern Hawkins getting a little close.
We talked about how hard passing might be. Right now, no driver is up more than one position. That's what's going on. Yeah, you know, it might be pack racing. I don't think drivers are going to be able to run away from each other, but I don't know if you can make the pass. That's why they're struggling so hard up front. They want to get that position locked in, and it's still Guerin and Micus as they continue to fight. You know, Adam, it's not often that I can say the best battle on the track is up front, but they are single file most of the way through, except for the leaders.
Yeah, those guys continue to trade the lead as Dan Guerin and Bob Micus have been side by side now for the majority of this race. We've already clicked off 6 laps here so far, so that is that's saying something about the pace of this one so far. I think a lot of these guys wanting it to go green most of the way, and despite this hard racing up front, I mean, that pretty much is what's happening. Is one thing that we're seeing, I think that's probably playing a role in the fact that they can't separate themselves from the cars behind them here so far, because cars behind them, and once you get out of the top 10, you're right, Soup, they're all running single file, but these leaders continue to fight tooth and nail for the lead of this race and continue to swap that spot. So Bob Micus currently has the slight edge over Dan Guerin. Alex Saunders has the slight edge over Dustin Wardlow. And then from there, well, you got to go a couple cars back. Jason Galvin trying to gain a few spots. He started this race in 11th and is now worked his way up to, I believe that's going to be 8th position now. So he's coming up a few spots. Look for Jason Galvin to try to get to the front here early.
And there's some position gain for you there. You know, Mike has had the line. He had the line, and then he took it right out of the middle, left the inside and the outside both open for Galvin. Galvin was able to pull up alongside of him. Saunders and Wardlow are back there as well. Neither one of those want to give up that spot either. Now, if this was a normal race car, I would say that Micus is using up his tires down below, but I honestly can give you no advice of how these brick hard tires from 1979 and 78 actually wear. I know they get hot, but Micus seems to be quite fine on that low line.
At least here early. I mean, we're still very early on in the run, and of course we'll see what happens as far as pit stops. Oh, that's really close. They almost locked wheels there, Soup. That would have been a disaster. Now, remember, there are no fast repairs in this series, so if something happens to these guys up front, I mean, it could change the entire complexion of the race.
Yeah, Micus had the car really low, and Guerin had brought the car down low as well. Did not leave them a lot of room. They came really close, but they're still out there, and it looks like they're not daunted by any of that as they continue to race side by side. They come across the line, working lap number 9.
Very, very competitive 9 laps here, Soup, is now more guys getting into the side-by-side action. And another guy, we talked about him a minute ago, he's still making moves. Jason Galvin now trying to get up into that second row and trying to fight for third and fourth position. He was 8th just a moment ago.
Well, quickly, since they're behaving, we'll put up the race analysis right here. We are indeed going 250 miles. That's 100 laps. Now, we think that the pit window is going to be about 35 laps, and that'll go all the way. I don't think these guys are going to come in. I don't think tires are going to be an issue. Then you can see the incidents, 8 and 12. You get to 12, you're DQ'd. Hey, look at this yellow car making a move, or the fluorescent green machine.
First time we're going 3 wide here, but he thinks better of it. Slots back behind Alex Saunders to go off into 1, but we're rows 1, row 2, and rows 3. All the way going back again, just like the start of the race there, at least at the front, except a couple of guys that shuffled around. Jason Galvin drifts high Not sure he was intending to do that, but that's what happened. And
go ahead.
We don't want to take away too much from this battle up front, but we probably want to get him out of the way early. We want to talk about our driver, focused driver here for today, being Brian Yazik. And of course, Brian started 11 races. He was a rookie to begin this season. Now we know he's not a rookie. We've seen him on many GSRC broadcasts before. You've even heard him before, but this is his 11th start here in the Retro Series. And of course, he's fighting for that rookie title, sitting third right now with 5 top 5s and 7 top 10s. So hey, Soup, I'd say out of 11 starts, coming home with 7 top 10s, that's a pretty good season here so far for Mr. Yazik.
Absolutely. And you guys playing the Soup mistake consumption game, go ahead, take another drink there. It's important to scroll the timing and scoring software all the way up to the top. Indeed, we do have some big climbers going on, and our biggest one right now was who we were just talking about, Brian Yazik, of 8 positions.
Yeah, I'm beginning to wonder if a lot of those guys, Brian Yazik being one of them, that didn't set qualifying times, we're like, oh, well, you know, like, these guys are being behaved. We might not get as many cautions as we thought. We got to get up to the front. So we're starting to see some of those guys move from the back to the front. And I hate to put it like this, Soup. I mean, I don't want it to happen, but I have to start thinking about stuff like NASCAR restrictor plate races. And a lot of times when that happens, when those guys start moving from the back to the front, it might be sometimes when things happen. So definitely we want to watch the middle part of the field here over the course of about the next 10 laps or so.
Yeah, Galvin back there in the Glidden machine. It's not the Glidden car, I guess it's Quaker State. He's fast. He just has nowhere to put the car. He's got 2 rows of 2 in front of him. You know, eventually when pit stops come around, if we get to the green flag stop, they'll have to get a single file. But so far, it's been double file for 13 laps.
Yeah, and you have to wonder, what is that doing to Bob Mikes' tires? Because he brought a little bit of contact there, trying to see who that was. That was Adam Blocker. Adam Blocker made a little bit of contact. He got sideways, able to save the car. That was very, very close. As it was Greg West. Watch him come down the track and make contact with that right front. Terrific save for Adam Blocker, who's definitely in the mix for that championship fight right now.
Whoa. Another bullet dodged.
Can you imagine if that worse would have happened right there, there would have been 10, 15 cars in that accident. So very, very glad Adam Blocker was able to get that collected, and just a terrific piece of driving. Now back up front, Jason Galvin once again thinking about making that 3 wide just a moment ago on the front stretch, but that settled down, and he's going to start. He lost a spot here a little bit to Justin Weaver. Now Justin Weaver had a great run there on the back of Dustin Wardlow, had to lift off, so he'll be the one to lose a few spots. Jason Galvin's going to slide up in front of him.
Oh my.
Things are getting dicey, and just dicey enough. Caution on the Speedway.
Frank Beezer. And he's going to go for a ride. Also involved Tyler Groff. Frank, that's Beezer on the outside. And he gets hit by Bart Workman. Workman is the car that sends him up into the catch fence.
Watch it again from above, and you'll watch the wild ride that Tyler Graff had here.
Beezer on the inside, Graff on the outside. They get together. Everything's okay here until Workman comes and sends them up. We'll ride on board with Samuel Ryman.
Does Sammy get through this?
I would guess he does. I haven't seen yet, but usually our director likes to find somebody who manages. We like to leave our replay on a happy note, so let's go ahead and see what happens here.
Whoa. And that right there was almost Sam's 12th incident of the year. Which, in all honesty, Soup, is a pretty incredible stat that he's only had 8 here so far this season. So, obviously Sam did not want to get caught up in that, but came pretty close to it. So with that, we're going to go ahead and take just a quick break here on GSRC. We'll be right back.
The SimPit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The SimPit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for the SimPit.
Welcome back to GSRC's coverage of the Lionheart Retro Series SimPit 250 live from Indianapolis. We are currently under yellow here, working right now, lap number 18 out of 100 here this evening. And if you're a sim racer looking to add that missing driver-to-car connection, bringing more realism to your sessions, well,
get ready, Sean. You ready?
Are the way to go. A butt kicker moves actual mass, producing a haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com. Use the promo code LION20 to get 20% off your order, and also give your recommendation for Soup to be their new spokesman. All right, so joining us up here in the booth, he just flew in from the race at Charlotte. You might have seen on GSRC a little while ago. And Sean, what a race there at Charlotte earlier.
The Roval was interesting. Yeah, and it was at night, so maybe a little bit darker, a little more shady than we're used to there at Charlotte. But happy to be here. Kurt Busch was nice enough to lend me his jet and make the ride, the virtual ride over here to Indy. And you guys got a whale of a race in your hands. I just noticed, was Galvin supposed, not Galvin, but was Brian Yazik supposed to come in? He came in and pit there, guys, and now he finds himself at the back of the field.
I'm beginning to wonder if he wants to be back there. So, I mean,
well, here's what's up. I think everybody still, the lights are we're about to go green. Everybody still needs to stop 2 more times. Even these guys who came in right now will have to stop again, but of course their stop won't be as long.
Well, coming back to green flag here, waiting for that Mustang pace car to go away, at least hopefully for a while. Get some green flag running here as we already get coming down to 19 laps. Dan Gehring gets himself a fantastic jump, but a guy that maybe got an even better jump was Jason Galvin. He's taking a look for second, but I think Dustin Wardlow is going to let him to the inside. Yeah, Dustin Wardlow is going to have to fight off Jason Galvin from the outside. He's not going to be able to hold him off here just yet. Going through the short chute, coming down to turn 2. Jason Galvin's going to edge in front of Dustin Wardlow. We're going to slot Dustin Wardlow back to 3rd. Jason Galvin now in 2nd, up from 11th in this race, Soup.
So where's Alex Saunders, Bob Mikas, and Adam Blocker, you may ask? They were racing up there? No, they came in. They're one of the guys who took those stops. They're leading that group.
Yeah, and speaking of lead, and Jason Galvin used that momentum, and he took the lead away from Dan Guerin, and the most power move for the lead that we've seen yet. But already Dan Guerin trying to come right back on the outside. He's going to lead the lap coming across the yard of bricks here this time, already lap 20 here at the Brickyard. So your top 3, at least as they came across the line that last time by, was Dan Guerin, Jason Galvin, and Dustin Wardlow. But Jason Galvin, a lot of momentum on his side, trying to run that inside line. We saw Bob Mikas here the last, 14 laps or so, use that inside line. But Jason Galvin seems to be losing a little bit more momentum going through the corners than what Bob Mikas was.
Yeah, perhaps. And if you've ever seen the movie The Cooler starring William H. Macy, you got to kind of feel that way if you're racing around. What's that?
I can't say I have.
Oh, well, that's a good movie. He's a guy who's unlucky, and they use him in the casino to get people to lose. You got to worry of racing around him with the luck that he's had right now, and it's going to be 3 wide down the front straight.
Dustin Wardlow sees what is happening, decides too early to try. Jason Galvin gets on the flat. He's loose. He's trying to get it gathered up. Dan Guerin's getting up beside him. Now Dustin Wardlow taking a look to the inside. How did he not lose that car, and how did he not completely lose out on more positions?
That's William H. Macy, baby, and now he's going to dive down low. He's fearless.
Guys, it's been crazy back here in the back part of the field, the 18th on back. Guys all over the place, changing all kinds of positions here. Jägerliner and West up there just picking up positive spots. Jägerliner, 18 spots he's picked up in this race. Are you kidding me? Kinsella pulling off the track, guys.
Yeah, let's look at here. Andrew Kinsella making what I'd have to believe is an unscheduled pit stop.
Yeah, I don't get this one.
Oh no, spinning in turn 1. Turn 1, boys. Trouble.
Vern Hawkins.
Oh, and he was running around George Ansaldo, I believe.
James Krahula in the bright yellow car. Krahula goes underneath him and gets into him. Great job from newcomer Mark Cohn to get on the binders and not get into the gearbox of Krahula. Holy moly. Welcome to the series, Mark Cohn.
Yeah, what's up with all the new faces, guys?
Yeah, when we get into the skeleton here, I want to give a list here of the new faces for this race. We'll talk about that in a minute. But you're right, Sean. There's quite a few new guys here just tonight that we haven't had a chance to talk about just yet. But we'll give them a shout out here in just a moment.
I'm gonna need to go back up to the gate and get a new program because I've got my program from the last Lionheart retro race, and I'm just confused.
I think we got 7 of them tonight, making their only their series debut, so that's welcome.
Yeah, okay, so I had to take a minute to actually get the list pulled up. I want to make sure we give these guys credit here. So, of course, Mark Cohn, he just brought up and just did a fantastic job avoiding that accident there. Cody Eldred, this is his first start here for tonight. Cody Wenson, his first start, and Cody Wenson actually in the top 10. He's running 10th right now on the line. Chris Walker. He's new here for this evening, so welcome to the series, Chris. Michael Lawler is another new face. Trying to see actually Chris Walker Sr. and him and Michael Lawler are running right next to each other here. Robert Dudley, this is his first race. Robert right now running in 25th position. And Drew Adamson, who is all running in 21st. So welcome to the Retro Series, guys, and I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing a lot of those guys coming up here over the course of the next couple of weeks.
Show you how precious a starting position is here. They gave us a list of 7 names, and all 7 are here. Yes, this is Must Racing. Pit stops.
That's a pretty healthy list of guys there. I know that 21 car piloted by Drew Adamson is the Beast Motorsports, which is the new team entry into the series, and Drew, our friend from iRacing and the iRacing Esports Network. So give those guys a shout out. Jump over there sometime here on YouTube, preferably after this broadcast, and give them a subscription. Catch us over there for the IndyCar, the Lionheart IndyCar series, guys.
I got a little strategy for you, boys. They said that you could go about 35 laps. They always lie to us. Let's add an extra one on there. Let's call it 36. That's 72. That means you got to get to lap like 28.
I was trying to stop you before you went too hard into the math.
Why are we doing that? Yeah.
I don't know. Hey, Sean, since we've got you here this evening. And you talked, well, no, it's okay. It's okay. You talked about the Lionheart IndyCar series. Why don't you, I don't always get a chance to watch the Lionheart IndyCar series. Why don't you give us a little update about what's going on over there?
What's going on in the Lionheart IndyCar series?
Well, the big series. Yeah, why don't you give us an update here real quick?
Well, I mean, listen, it's been a long season. They're hard to believe they're only 2/3 of the way through it. But yeah, man, it's been an exciting one. And now they're over, like I said, on Wednesday nights, they're on the iRacing Esports
That's the big
Network.
News, baby.
That is the big news. And they're happy to be there. We're happy to be there with them. Soup and Richie on, that broadcast. But, right now, it's been a good season. Andrew Kinsella finds himself in the lead over there. Adam Blocker just behind him in the points. And Brian Yazik, our rookie, our retro rookie, which still makes me giggle, by the way. And you know what? Yazik having a good season. Stephen Larkamp just coming up the boards, now inside the top 5. And Big Joe Hassert, the Big Joe Show, finally having a good season here. This might be the year of Joe. I don't know. We'll see, guys. I do know that the Big Joe Show race is coming up on the schedule here pretty soon, actually. And, well, that's become kind of a stalwart of the Lionheart IndyCar series schedule every year.
I work with Richie Hearn. I had a nightmare last night. I'm having a great night's sleep. And there I am in my dream. I'm watching the horrible movie Driven with
Sylvester Stallone.
And weirdly enough, this was before the sad passing of Burt Reynolds. Talk about coincidence.
Soup is responsible for this, Adam.
I told you this dream before Burt passed away. Anyway, I'm in my dream. I'm watching this, and the credits go by, and it says technical advisor Richie Hearn. And I had nightmares thinking that Richie had anything to do with that horrendous movie. Oh man, is that just an awful flick?
Well, you keep in mind. Okay, now you got to go back to my deal as a meteorologist, what my actual degree is in and everything. So here's my movie with when I say meteorology movie and I say tornadoes and stuff like that, what movie comes to mind?
Twister.
Okay. So they had actual scientists, be advisors on Twister, right? And they basically took everything they said and threw it out the window for the sake of making a movie. I mean, not even the clouds look right. Like the tornadoes just come straight out of the bottom of the cloud. Like, no, it doesn't work like that.
You mean cows don't float?
With Richie and Driven,
Cows don't float by like that in the Twister?
No, you don't. You don't have some psychiatrist saying we got cows.
mad cows do, Soup.
Oh man. All right, I'm going to get back to this point because you guys didn't take me seriously. Soup knows what he's talking about. All you little soldiers in Soup's clipboard army at home, mark this down. Alex Saunders, Greg West, they came in and topped off. I think they can go the distance with one more stop. If something weird happens and this thing starts to go green for a while, look for them to snake one.
Well, we're going to have a chance to watch it thanks to one of our sponsors, Viva Motorsport. Want to give them a shout out. Of course, we're working now. Lap number, losing track of the laps in here, talking about Twister. 26 of 100. Viva Motorsport specializes in motorsport-inspired items ranging from custom-edged glasses, track decals, and more. Everything is designed with the motorsport enthusiast in mind, crafted with care and love through all its stages of production. And if you're looking for the perfect gift for someone who's passionate about motorsports, visit the Viva Motorsport shop today at vivamotorsport.etsy.com. And remember, when ordering, use the promo code. We love our promo codes here. Lionheart for 10% off all orders. So that's a heck of a deal right there. Mustang pace car has its lights off. They are heading into turn 3. I think Jason Galvin is so up under that Mustang pace car right now. He's trying to use the draft to save gas. What do you think, Stu?
Yeah, he might. Luckily, he's maybe trying to get away from Dan Guerra. Now, don't get me wrong, Dan. I'm not saying that you're a dangerous driver. That's not my point at all. I'm just saying you're an unlucky driver, and nobody wants to be around you right now.
He sure is an unlucky driver this season. He left me some low-hanging fruit on the tree here this week on Facebook, and I couldn't resist. Yeah. I had to take a shot at him.
Well, Jason Galvin, I think, spent some time at the U.S. Nationals this past weekend, and he's going to have to drag away from Dan Guerin, channeling his inner Coletta, trying to get away there, and indeed he does. Great jump on Dan Guerin, but as we've seen, that draft is probably going to pull Dan Guerin right back up on him as they head through turn 1 onto the short chute and now turn 2. But Dan Guerin looks like he's going to have his hands full almost with Dustin Wardlow. Dustin Wardlow trying to use that inside line to no avail. Jason Galvin thinks about trying to squeeze that line, but no, he's going to get split. Dustin Wardlow looking to the inside of him. Dan Guerin's on the outside. We're going to slot Jason Galvin back to 3rd, maybe even losing a little bit more. It looks like his car really tightens up there going through 3, and he's going to have now his hands full with Justin Weaver.
Did Dustin Wardlow not learn anything from last season? You want to be in 5th coming out of turn 4. What are you doing racing for the lead?
Well, Jason Galvin was up front that entire race last year. He got involved in that big last lap accident that Dustin Wardlow was able to miss. And that was the crazy thing about that last lap accident. You had Christopher up there, you had Joe Hassert, and both those guys aren't here. Oh, Christopher is. And of course, Christopher also had a red and white car, and he was sitting in 4th. And when everything, the dust settled from that, I thought it was Christopher that got ahead, but it was Dustin Wardlow. If you go back and watch that broadcast, of course, we showed the last lap of it here earlier on, but that was just a great race out of these Lionheart Retro Series guys way back in June of last year. So right now, Dustin Wardlow fighting side by side, trying to take the lead. Dan Guerin's going to use the momentum coming off 4, but so is Jason Galvin. Down 3 wide for the lead. I don't think Jason Galvin's going to lift this time. He knows he's got the momentum. He's going to go right from 3rd to the lead, going through 1, edging out Dan Guerin, but he's on the flat once again, back in the car, tries to wiggle just a touch, loses just enough speed that Dan Guerin's able to edge back out in front. Jason Galvin, though, gets a good run off the corner. Dan Guerin gets a better run, not seeing as big of a move going down the back straightaway this time, at least not enough that Dustin Wardlow is thinking about making it 3 wide.
You saw that Dougie Beard camera angle there. You saw that blue car that was leading the pack. Well, they're swapping positions. Right now, that is Bob Mikas and Adam Blocker. Remember, they were up front. They're just doing a little bit of a waltz back there, swapping a position on the front and back straight. They're coming, and they've made a recent pit stop.
So fresh tires, full load of fuel. We'll see where that gets us. Trying to get eastbound down there or something like that. I don't know. What direction do you go down the front straightaway?
Yeah, you made me sad. That's all I know.
Actually, you're going south.
You're going southbound.
You're going south down the front straightaway, yes.
So it's bad if I couldn't remember my directions in Indianapolis, but I had to get the Burt Reynolds reference in there. You brought up Burt Reynolds earlier. Of course, this tragic passing here for today. Many a racing movie that he was involved in, a racing type of movie, car movies. You know, I always think of Stroke Race, of course, you know, the Too Smoky and the Bandits that he was in, and just a big loss in our world here today.
Cannonball Run?
Cannonball Run. How could I forget about Cannonball Run? Well, no, it wasn't it the Snowman? Man, of course, he passed away a number of years ago. I'm trying to remember his name.
The great Jerry Reed.
Yeah, Jerry Reed. Wasn't he? Didn't he take on the role of Bandit in the third one?
Yeah, maybe. I think you're right now.
I think I'm right. I know I'm right.
Hey, let's talk about the battle for 10th right now, because everybody stacked up behind Blocker. Here comes Bob Mikas. Bobby looking to the inside here, and the row behind him is moving. Here comes Scott Johnson and Stouffer.
Yeah, these guys starting to get crazy. That was very, very close back there.
Drew Adamson just almost had a moment. let's go on board with Drew here and get his onboard at almost 3 wide, almost a wreck. That's a good evasive move there.
Well,
They keep at it.
Blocker and Micus are going to be your race leaders here pretty soon. As the guys up front, the top, how many are there? 9 of them are going to have to pit pretty soon.
We'll be looking for that. At green flag pit stops, they might be pretty close about whether or not they lose a lap or not, but these still racing hard, though. We've had 2 cautions. They'll probably stretch it out just by a few laps, but not by many. Right now, what I think needs to happen is those guys that are back there racing from 10th on back need to get in single file, because that front pack is starting to try to get away from them, even despite the fact that they are now going 2 wide, 3 rows deep, as that battle up front continues on. Jason Galvin, Dan Guerin, Justin Weaver, Dustin Wardlow, and now we haven't talked about him at all, but we're going to have to start talking about him. How about Cody Winson, one of the newcomers, has now found himself up there in 5th position.
Clearly not aware of Dan Guerin curse as he's getting closer and closer to Guerin. Let's go ahead and give you that interval from 9th position back to 10th. This is from Ron Hacker to Bob Micus. 2.6 seconds. Micus and Blocker continue to swap twice a lap.
Watching Cody Winson there, gets off the gas, loses a little bit of momentum. We'll go back to that backpack there from about 10th on back.
Oh no!
Once again,
a big one, guys.
Drew Adamson's in it.
Yeah. Oh man, George and Zotto just got through that. They're wrecking up ahead of that now.
Starts with Johnson and Bob Micus. Oh, Bob was having such a good run. Bob on the outside gets into Johnson. They get together.
Wow.
And when these cars wreck, they wreck big, and it's a couple guys going for a wild ride, and that was coming to an end.
That's Chris Stouffer. After Johnson and Micus get together, Stouffer's the second car on the outside lane there. He has nowhere to go. They get together. Micus goes for a tumble.
Right on board, Chris Stouffer here, get a front row seat with what happened to him. Well, I guess maybe more of a, he's got the front row seat. We're kind of sitting like just a little bit to the back right now.
Oh.
That driver
and how about
nowhere to go?
How about one onboard camera with Jake Wright? You think you're safe. You think you've managed to get through it. Let's go on board with the multi-time champion. All right, you're down here. You're going to dodge all these bullets. Some of them are magical. Little net code. You pass invisibly through the car. No problem. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. Oh, no. And then that.
Yeah.
It's not very often that Jake Wright finds himself in an accident this season. He's definitely, this series, he's definitely avoided his share. But one guy I've really got a feel for in all of that there, Soup, is Chris Stouffer. We talked about him a little while ago being involved in that wreck last year. He's going to get awfully sick coming to Indianapolis and having cars go over top of him.
Yeah, that's definitely indeed. Bob Micus also had a great car. That's the price you pay, though, when you roll the dice and you decide to take that early pit stop. That puts you back in where the chaos can happen. Jason Galvin out in front doesn't have to worry about that. All he has to worry about coming down to pit lane. How about the drivers in 8th and 9th? Don't get confused. It's Ken and Ron. It's the Hacker guys.
Always try to figure out how those guys end up always next to each other, but they do. They seem to find each other. They're brothers, right? Am I correct, Soup?
I believe that is what we decided they were.
Yeah. So anyway, most guys coming down pit road, lots of takers coming down pit road here for this go around. Only a handful of cars staying out. We'll look at the cars that are staying out here in just a few minutes. Jason Galvin, first one to hit his box. He's back there just a little bit. Keep in mind, he's starting in 11th position here today. One of the biggest movers here so far. He is away. Is he going to be the first one off of pit road? Dan Guerin followed him closely. And Jason Galvin's going to win that race off pit road. Now, as far as the guys that stayed out, how's this for some names? Alex Saunders, he stayed out. Andrew Kinsella, Samuel Ryman, Travis Jagerliner, George Anzaldo, and James Krahula are all guys that stayed out. It's also worth noting James Krahula does have a little bit of wing damage from some of the contact earlier on. So we'll have to see if that affects him. Might be trying to come in here a little bit early as well. Maybe just trying to get to the back of the field. We'll see what happens here in the next few minutes. But Alex Saunders right now in the lead of this race, staying out on pit road.
My clipboard army, we knew about Andrew Kinsella be doing that and Alex Saunders. We told you that was going to happen. Now the question is, can he do this on one more stop? And Alex, I don't think so unless we get a lot of yellows.
Well, that might be something that they're counting on too. So would not surprise me if that ends up being the case. But as far as having lots of yellows, but we could also have lots of green flag running. Yeah. I would anticipate though that if they do try to stick with that one more pit stop from here type strategy, I don't know if they want to be necessarily in the lead. They might want to try to slot back just by a few cars and take advantage of the draft and try to save some gas under green if at all possible. All right, so looking at that's James Krahula coming down pit road now. So that he will give up that position.
That's what he does.
Yeah,
I was just about to say that, Sue.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Whatever the book says, throw it out the window for James Krahula. Hey, GSRC's own Sam Ryman up there, guys.
Yeah, Sam, another one of those guys that stayed out in that Raven Motorsports machine.
Soup, have you seen what it says on the side of Sam's car?
Gather up the chickens, hey!
I just saw that for the first time. That's great.
We got to ask him if he added that for today, because I don't remember that ever being on there.
All right. Gonna catch on.
I think it has, Sue. I heard they might even be making T-shirts at some point.
All right.
I don't know. Unfortunately, that untimely caution, guys, that cost a few drivers. Christopher, of course, put the car behind the wall.
Yep.
So is Beast Racing's Drew Addison making his debut this evening. It's a tough break for him, but he's got to get up early in the morning. He's on the East Coast. Maybe not the end of the world, but shame to see those guys out already, though. Still a bunch of racing left here tonight at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Now we don't want these new guys coming in here and just thinking it's real easy. You gotta pay your dues.
Well, we're sitting here. We're on working right now, lap 37. We still have 26. Well, I think it's going to be 25 cars on the lead lap if Jake Wright goes down a lap here. And so still a pretty competitive night at Indianapolis. Last year, this race ended a little bit past midnight, I believe, on the East Coast. So I think we're on track for pretty close to that as well here tonight. So definitely some of the guys that are in the East Coast and Central Time Zone. This turns into a little bit more of a marathon trying to stay up. And then for people like me, got to get up to work next morning.
Well, I'm not really good at math, but midnight is 23 minutes away on the East Coast. I think 1 o'clock is I'd be happy with that one.
Well, and we just got a report, and looking at it, trying to listen to his engine note, but hearing that Alex Saunders, and would not be surprised if Andrew Kinsella is doing this too, but trying to clutch it under yellow, trying to save some gas.
Makes you want to go,
Yeah.
I like being right. You know what? With Sean being here, that's why my GSRC per diem was smaller than usual. They didn't fund us for a 3-man booth. It's they split it equally between.
No, I'm working on spec tonight. It's okay. I'm working
all right. Spec. Glad you're here, buddy.
We'll just wait till GSRC gets the fuel costs from that jet he had to take. Of course, lights are off on the Mustang pace car here. Your top 3 coming to the green in just a moment. It's going to be Alex Saunders, Andrew Kinsella, and Samuel Ryman. And I have a feeling we're seeing a couple of guys mix it up here, including George Anzaldo and Travis Jagerliner. This might be a interesting restart here, Soup and Sean. So.
Yeah, they're checking their X3 box because Jason Galvin's just a few cars back. He's going to be coming in that number 42.
And of course, all the guys that just came in can for sure go on just one more stop from here.
Be virtually everybody except the top 5.
Hey. And Alex Saunders gets the good jump going back to the green flag racing. Andrew Kinsella back there as well, and Samuel Ryman. They get a good jump, those 3 on Travis Jaegerleiner. Travis trying to fall back just a touch. George Zaldo following back into the clutches already of Jason Galvin. But the start, at least here at the beginning, very well behaved. Most guys running nose to tail until we get pretty deep into the field before we start seeing some guys run side by side. But one guy already wanted to go side by side for the lead. Move Andrew Kinsella up into the P1 spot, and almost as they're heading into 3. Can't quite clear Alex Saunders just yet. Alex Saunders is going to take the high line. Andrew Kinsella going to drift up just a little bit, try to use that momentum off the track. And I just want to comment, guy from Greece in chat here for tonight. Don't have his name in front of me, but he's talking in Greece at 6:40 a.m. So I'm guessing we don't have any room to complain, guys, about this one finishing after midnight for us. Alex Saunders taking a brief look on the inside, and I just saw Andrew Kinsella flash just a little bit. Got to watch out for some connection issues there, and it wouldn't be the first time that has struck him. Andrew Kinsella now getting sole possession of the lead, should be able to drift up in front of Alex Saunders here going down the back straightaway. Samuel Ryman back there, guys, looking a little hungry.
Meanwhile, behind them, and Zaldo got passed by Galvin, but then Zaldo got him back. Galvin and Guerin raced 6th and 7th. Keep an eye on them. They'll be coming soon.
And then Soup, it's Michael Goodman leading 11th on back, and that is that's heating up. He's getting some pressure from Brian Beard. Beard looking to make the move.
And don't forget Michael Goodman. And that butt kicker onboard camera, he won at Michigan earlier this year. He knows how to go fast on these fast tracks. We look for him to maybe try to get up front as the race goes along.
Hopefully no haptic immersion coming his way. You know, that butt kicker product, I guess it works on bumps. You don't have to put it in the wall, but kind of a product where you get the most value out of when something bad happens to you. I don't know. Just saying.
Travis Jaegerleiner up there trying to hold on to that 4th position. Dan Guerin getting a good run. He's underneath George Zaldo now. We're going to move him up into 5th. And then don't look now. Cody Winston's back there. He's still hanging on to this thing. So great run for Cody Winston, the newcomer here for tonight. But he's got Jason Galvin all over his rear wing.
Cody having a good run indeed. Sean, do you think, I'm seeing drivers doing some leapfrogging, do you think that the lap times are faster if they slingshot down the front straight and down the back straight? Could there be some dancing going on?
Okay, if you have an agreement with that driver, yes. If you're just fighting for position, then no, probably not. You're not working to each other's advantage. So, you know, right now, I think there are probably a few guys working together, but those that aren't are going to be the ones that continue to fall back. Oh, man, I'll tell you what, there's some really risky racing going on back here for 13th. Mark Cohn's trying to hold off Ken Hacker right behind him, and right behind them coming up through is you've got this pack here with Lanini trying to make his way in, and Robert Dudley up to 17th.
Yeah, it's pretty much 3 packs. You got the pack of what, about 10 cars up in front with Adam Blocker in the caboose. Then you got 12th position led by Yazik and Beard up there. And then the one that Sean was talking about, Lanini and Wardlow. The Hackers are back there.
Speaking of crazy driving and risky driving, Cody Winston in the sandwich position right now as Justin Weaver backs out of the 3 wide trying to go down into 1, but in the process Justin Weaver loses a bunch of spots. There's a car down there on the apron. That is Bart Workman. He might be coming out just to try to get a lap or two, maybe try to get ahead of some of those other guys who were in that earlier accident. But if you see a car on the apron, it's Bart Workman.
I think this is he was in that crash that took out about 4 or 5 cars. I think he's going to go out there, put in 2.5 miles, and finish ahead of them all. You know, a lot of different agendas going on out there. You got drivers like Kinsella, who are in the championship out there racing, and then you got Cody Wenslem, who's just new, just having some fun.
Yeah, and that, you know, that's nothing new. The Retro Series, we saw it quite a bit at the tail end of last year, but I think last year the points bags, of course, you had Ryan Otis up there fighting for it at this point last year, Adam Blocker, and I think they were separated by a little bit more than even what we got our guys here for this year so far. So it is it's a pretty tight battle up there, Soup. And of course, Sean also, I don't know if you caught, but fighting for double points here for tonight for a lot of these guys. So these guys are in the championship fight, a lot to lose potentially if something were to happen.
Yeah, you don't want to blow a chance at double points. You never want to blow that. This is a prestigious event, a Triple Crown race. Oh no! Trouble on the backstretch.
Oh, see the car upside
I'm sorry,
down.
the front stretch. It's Mark Cohn.
Oh, it was
backstretch. I'm sorry, it was coming out.
Got into it with Ken Hacker. Ken, did you squeeze him or did Mark come down on you?
And there's the caution finally. Soup, I'm watching this replay and boy, that was close.
A good one to look on, maybe Chris Lanini. He has probably the best view of anybody. You get inside the helmet of Chris Lanini and you be the race steward here. The car's up in front of you. Boy, it looks like they, you know what? It's almost like two cars changing lanes into the same lane. One came down, one came up. I'm going to give the pass to both of those guys.
That's kind of where I was going with that when I was groaning a little bit. It really looked like it was just kind of a racing deal. Just a little too close to each other, and it results in that.
We're on board now, Robert Bluin, and you'll see Robert Bluin goes to take evasive action and ends up brushing the inside wall, and that throws him to the outside wall. So Robert Bluin was another victim in that wreck, and he was a guy that we expected to actually have a little bit of speed here for tonight, despite starting in the back. So potential end of the race top 10 runner out of this one.
Now this is good for those guys doing that, and Saunders and Zaldo. We'll see if they come in. Also, Jägerliner is in that one of those guys as well. They needed some yellows. This makes it a little easier for them to get to the end on one stop. The guy who didn't is Garin. Garin worked his way around. He's only been out there for 11 laps. We were pretty confident he is good to get there on one stop.
Well, in lieu of that, you know what? I think a lot of these guys are just going to sit around and see what develops here over the course of this yellow. I don't think we're going to see as many takers here on the back half of this yellow. So why don't we go ahead and take a moment, take a break, and thank some of our sponsors.
The SimPit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The SimPit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The SimPit.
Welcome back to the GSRC coverage of the Lionheart Retro Series SimPit 250 from Indianapolis. We are currently under yellow, working lap number 49 out of 100 here for tonight, just getting ready to come to halfway. HPP is awarding a set of pedals valued at $1,395 to the season champion this year. HPP's hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. Visit hppsimulation.com to check it out. HPP designed to go fast and built to last. And we got a guy that was really impressing a lot of people here for tonight in his debut in the series, Drew Adamson, and I think Sue's caught up with him.
Drew, welcome to the series. First race didn't quite go the way you might have hoped.
Yeah, no, it unfortunately didn't. I was thinking about going 3 wide, and I wisely backed off, but wasn't enough. The guy to my right unfortunately ran into somebody else, and I saw the sky and was flying with the birds at that point.
You have much experience in this car?
So before deciding to come do this, not really, but I spent about 2 weeks now getting comfortable in the car. Actually, I thought I was going to be at the Zolder race, and then I got told I could do the Indy race. So I had been practicing on the road course, and then this week it was as much practice time as I could get.
Give us a little insight since you've been out there. How does the track feel with the heat, and how are the tires holding up?
The tires are holding up pretty well. The big thing is when you're in a draft, you feel that aero push from just having nothing on the front end and carrying so much more speed. So you definitely have to lift off, which was something I was experimenting with, which is why before that wreck happened, I got such a great run coming out of 4 because I kept getting terrible runs coming out of 4. But if you're by yourself, you're almost flat out around this track for at least half the run and not having to worry about your tires.
All right, man. Well, it was great to get to meet you. Good luck. We hope you have a finish out the season well, and we'll see you back here for season 3.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Okay, there you have it. Our rookie, Drew Adamson.
Yeah, great debut into the series for him here for today, and as he mentioned, in quite the way he wanted. But hey, went out there, and I guess sometimes you want to be a little bit more on the quiet side, and if you're going to get caught up in something, at least it wasn't your something. So
they can't all be Cody Wenzel, can they?
That's all right. He definitely had as fast of a car as Cody Wenzel, but Cody Wenzel definitely has himself a rocket here for today. Another guy that has a rocket, Dan Guerin, going back to green. Mustang pace car is off the track. Green flag is out. Andrew Kinsella not able to get as good of a jump, but he hits a better jump than some of the guys have on some restarts here tonight. Dan Guerin already starting to weave, trying to break that draft, going down to turn 1. Andrew Kinsella still looks like he's going to be on the inside here of Jason Galvin. Jason Galvin trying to get that outside to work for him. They've already caught up to Dan Guerin here going through 2. Andrew Kinsella is going to try to take the lead. Coming out of 2, going down the back straightaway. That Miss Budweiser machine up into P1 at least for the moment with Jason Galvin. He's going to try to make it 3 wide. He's squeezing Ed Menard's machine in there. on noses ahead of Andrew Kinsella, but Andrew Kinsella able to use the momentum that Jason Galvin lost by that move and able to take the lead going into turn 4. But will he hold that lead all the way to the yard of bricks? Jason Galvin's going to take a look here to the outside. Andrew Kinsella drives it down almost to the wall, pulls it back out from the wall just a little bit. And Jason Galvin, I believe, no, Andrew Kinsella gets credit for leading that lap, but it wasn't by much, guys.
Huge tip of the hat to Dan Guerin. When Galvin was coming through the middle, Guerin looked over his left shoulder and said, "Oh my," and gave Galvin plenty of room. Got the car really close to the wall, lost all of his momentum, and now he says, "Here's how you do it. This is how you go through the middle." Galvin gives him room. Guerin doesn't quite get it like Galvin did. Kinsella holding on to the lead still.
Guys, you know who got a great restart that time? Brian Yazik. Yazik is now up to 9th. He just dropped George Anzaldo, got around Jaegerliner on the restart, and is picking up spots here. Less than a half a second to Weaver.
Oh, up in the front right now. Jason Galvin made a power move to try to go to P1 over top of Dan Guerin and Andrew Kinsella. Dove it down in their car, tightened up. Everybody's able to stay off each other. Got tense there for a little bit going through turn 1. Oh, and speaking of the new guy, Cody Wenzel back there, he's making a power move. Getting around Sammy Ryman.
So interesting, in this bunch, and I promise you, Dan Guerin, this is the last time I mention the bad luck that's been plaguing you. This is it, the last time this race. You got Mr. Unlucky, Dan Guerin, and you also have the cleanest driver of the season, Samuel Ryman.
Hey, isn't Sam Ryman an Indy 500 winner on iRacing? Did he do that?
I think it was a year or two ago. He won.
That's correct. He knows how to win here.
Yeah.
Right now, he's racing back there in 9th.
I think right now Sammy Ryman's back there. I think he's letting go of some of those spots intentionally, trying to make sure that if anything happens, he's not going to be in it, while at the same time still trying to be competitive. So he's being clean. But one guy that is really moving up was our driver spotlight here for today. Yazik up to 9th.
I just vision Ryman out there racing in like a white tuxedo with
Hold on, we go to Cody Winson here. Cody Winson trying to go for the lead, dives it in there, 3 wide going into turn 1. He came from 5th to make that move.
Somebody licked the stamp and sent it, baby. We're gonna
right on board here with him. Watch this. And I don't think those guys expected him to be there. And then when he was there, man, he's shown he's got himself a really fast car here tonight. Now, going down the back straightaway, Andrew Kinsella was able to edge back out in front. But Cody Winson making a play here. He might get the lead at the line, and I think he does. We can credit him with leading that lap as we're going back now 2 wide again. Cody Winson's car looking a touch loose going through 1. Dan Guerin not going to take advantage of it. Andrew Kinsella back in the lead, of course, is right now. Your top 3 is Kinsella, Winson, and Guerin, but not for long. They're going to go 3 wide again.
You know what? Here's what's going on if they go 3 wide. The draft to pass on a 2-car draft, it's just not enough. You can get alongside. Right now, the best move, the one that's most efficient, is when you're sitting back in 3rd, the 2 cars go side by side, puts a huge hole in there, and you go from 3rd to 1st.
See Dan Guerin able to edge out and go 3 wide
there
again.
It is again.
Forget 2 wide. 2 wide was boring. We're going to go 3 wide now the rest of the way.
Oh, he gets it down on the rumble strips when he hangs on to it.
He's going to lose some spots, though. Another great piece of driving, this time by Andrew Kinsella to keep that car going. He's going to lose some spots, but he has a car. Here, there's a car sideways. Yellow flag.
Yeah, Chris Walker, guys. Chris Walker with big trouble going into the turn. Trying to see if maybe he had a little bit of help, but I think the car just stepped out on him. It got tight. Oh, we got tight there.
Yeah, he got tight and dove it off to the inside of the track to hopefully spin it out and not collect anybody. And indeed, he doesn't, and still has himself a complete race car. So he'll throw 4 fresh tires on there here this go around, and he'll be back at it. But so first yellow flag here today, where no damage by anybody.
One that just in front of Ken Hacker. I've seen that spin not bring out the yellow flag when you spin to the inside there onto that access road. The automated iRacing stewards are cranky tonight. So we're going to see pit stops. Well, I don't know. They've been out there for 22, but it's not in the window.
And of course, if they stretch it to the window, they should be able to go the rest of the way at that point. So decisions. And I think the big question is going to be is what's the tire wear like here for tonight? And Soup, you hit the nail on the head earlier that it's been kind of all over the place for these guys.
I give up. I'm not even going to venture a guess. After last round when Alex Saunders blamed himself not winning because he came in and got 4 fresh tires. Apparently the car rotated better with the older rubber and he could go faster. You got me. I don't know what to do.
See, and to clarify, it wasn't because he came into pits and got 4 fresh tires the time spent in the pits. It was because the 4 fresh tires were physically on the machine. Yes. As Dan Guerin does a fake out, and here comes Alex Saunders, Andrew Kinsella, and Adam Blocker down pit road.
All right. Well, these guys will all have to pit one more time unless there's a lot of yellows. What do they have to go, 42 laps? They said they can go 35. Even you give them the extra 2 Lionheart liar laps, that gives them to 37. Yellow flags, maybe.
I think one thing that we've seen here in the last little bit of this race here, Soup, is that earlier on I would have said track position wasn't as important as but now every restart we're seeing the field break up into 2 packs, and well, it might be a situation where track position becomes more and more important here as the race goes along. I mean, obviously shorter time to get up front, but you don't want to be mired back in the second pack that loses touch with leaders.
So here are the big names of guys who just came in and took tires. Mark them down on your clipboards, my little soldiers. Adam Blocker, Alex Saunders, Andrew Kinsella. Maybe this newcomer here, Michael Goodman, and the newcomer, Robert Melk Dudley. He's somebody to keep an eye on. So those guys, they're going to nurse it around. If I'm guys who are slower, if I'm guys like Dudley and Ellard back there and Walker, I come in, just see if I can sneak at this, limp it around, and see if I can do it on no more stops from here.
And just to update, 24 cars now on the lead lap. Jake Wright, we were talking about him a little while ago if he was going to lose a lap, but he has been able to remain on the lead lap. So 24 cars out there as we're working lap 59 right now. And looking at the Mustang pace car, lights are still on it. I think they're going to go at least this time and another time by. We'll see if the lights come off. So Mustang pace car coming to the line of brakes. It's always that anticipation. Do we have one more lap of yellow or not?
You talked about the prizes that they win for the series here, and of course one of them, that beautiful set of pedals from HPP Simulations that Jake Wright's going to bring his car down into pit lane. But let's talk about just some prizes that you get for winning this event. You get yourself a Dan Weldon diecast. I would like that. You get yourself an Indy 500 shirt and hat. Do they come in 4X? We'll have to find out about that. I'm talking about the shirt, not the hat. Hardcover books. Well, those are good. Several prints. Custom winners poster. And this one, Sean, this one sounds good. A rocket from Lock Precision.
Ah, yes. Soup, one of these days, I'm going to get around to getting one of those rockets from Lock Precision. I grew up on building model rockets. Estes rockets, to be particular, but I'm afraid those little Estes rockets don't hold a candle to this one's from Lock Precision. You've seen them, Soup. They are huge. I mean, really, if you want a Saturn rocket, you can get one that's probably, I don't know, half scale maybe.
They are big. I like the ones where they have the cameras in it, man. They go up and, man, holy moly.
So one of my favorite things to do as a child was connects, right? Bill,
Oh, yeah.
you guys know what connects are. All right, so we would build cars out of connects, like even went as far as to like cover them with aluminum foil to make a body for them. And we'd always just like sling them down the hallway and watch them wreck and see how they break. And okay, so I've always been a little bit of a nerd, so to test the structural integrity of it or whatever. So anyway, one time though, me and my brother get the great idea of strapping on 2 rocket motors to the end of one of those things and shoot it off down the street. The car did not survive.
Yeah.
Story short. I still think that going out into Clovis, New Mexico on my old street as a couple of latecomers here down pit road. Yeah,
Pit
look at
stop.
Dan Guerin and Jason Galvin coming down. Cody Winston's out. But I still think there's pieces of connects buried in the asphalt there in Clovis, New Mexico somewhere. Go out and find it. All right, so it looks like Yazik was the first one to hit his pit box. Of course, he started way back in the back of the field. Jason Galvin coming to his pit box now. See him stop. Dan Guerin, waiting for him to slide to a stop. Now the race begins. Who's going to get off pit road first? Lots of guys out here. We're going to see quite a bit of shuffling around on this, as now we've got different pit strategies at play. Look at that. Jason Galvin and Brian Yazik beating Guerin off. Guerin has himself a slow pit stop. He's going to lose spots to Travis Jaegerleiner, Samuel Ryman as well.
Cody Winston has to be saying, hey, where'd everybody go? He's out there, was racing with these guys. Now they've all left him.
You know, and I'd have to think that at this point, putting fuel in the car would probably be the reason why for the long stops. So Dan Guerin probably stuffed it as full of fuel as he can, whereas Jason Galvin, maybe even Brian Yazik, they might be trying to split this thing back up into evens here, since we can't go the rest of the way unless we have a lot of yellow.
Yeah, but think about this. Remember, we talked about these guys who came in when the pits first opened. Adam Blocker, Andrew Kinsella, Robert Milk Dudley, we talked about him. So these guys, they came in, they picked up all of that track position. Those guys are now 3rd, 4th, and 5th. The problem is they've got an extra 2 laps on their fuel burned up, but it's really just 2 laps of yellow flags. Was it that much? We'll find out.
All right, so now this is really shaking things up. Mustang pace car going to be pulling off here in a minute. Here's your top 5 now. Cody Winston, Justin Weaver, Adam Blocker's now back up there, along with Andrew Kinsella. So, and then, of course, Robert Dudley now in the top 5 as well. Mustang pace car is off. Cody Winston gets a great jump over top of Justin Weaver. We are back to green in Indianapolis in the SimPit 250, now on lap 62. Very, very spread out here on this particular restart, but not up front. Cody Winston.
Nope.
And then Justin Weaver. And Justin Weaver makes another power move. We've seen that a lot, where that second place guy just gets a whale of a run going through 1, the short chute, and 2.
Well, Sean, here's the difference with the 2 guys up in front. Weaver and Winston know that they cannot go the distance. They got to pit. So they can just go throw caution to the wind and race. Everybody else, Blocker from farther back, have got to nurse it a bit in case we get another yellow and they can try to stretch it.
And Walker,
yeah, of course, they don't want to be the yellow.
No, you don't never want to be the yellow. Chris Walker just put in some good work getting around Cody Eldred finally. But how about these couple of rookies this evening, right there in 6th and 7th, charging hard here.
Yeah, and don't forget, Chris Walker's spin is the one that brought out that yellow, and well, he's showing that it's okay. I know how to keep this car under control. We're going to run up front for a little while and show you all how it's done. And, that 7-Up machine there is putting on a little bit of a show back there, making some great moves.
Just ahead of those guys in 5th, it's the Milk Dud. Robert Dudley out there having a great run, another rookie. Love these new rookies coming in here, showing the veterans how to get it done.
See what's on Dudley's car? It's the
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2. And Ghostbusters 2.
We need to go look at him. Is his driver's suit like a Ghostbusters suit?
I was thinking maybe it was like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, maybe.
Well, right now,
Robert Dudley's going to get a good look at the inside of Andrew Kinsella here, but doesn't have enough momentum to carry it through just yet on the backstretch.
Kinsella's nursing it. These guys are all nursing it.
one guy that is not Nursa is trying to get back up there. Jason Galvin doing everything he can right now to get around Ron Hacker and then eventually Brian Beard, but just cannot make it here so far.
Yeah, he can't pull off this this pass on Hacker right now. He's finally getting the advantage. Yeah, he's going to get him there on the straight finally. Wow, that took him forever.
Yep.
Oh, going to go to the inside of Beard. Look at this.
But it's just so time-consuming. You can get in there. It's just the outside car can get a run, boy, but he doesn't. Galvin gets it done. It's just so hard to work your way through the field.
Robert Dudley completes his pass over top of Andrew Kinsella as well, and Chris Walker up there trying to make a move now over top of Andrew Kinsella. Almost tries to stick his nose in there, but just can't quite get there just yet. Andrew Kinsella still has himself a very fast machine here, but man, all of a sudden it's a newcomer party up front, and they're enjoying the ride.
I wonder if this is what the admin team had in mind when they opened the door here for all these new guys over the past couple weeks.
Again, this is all going to shake out a bit. The front two, we know that Weaver and Wenzen have to pit. And honestly, I'm not sure if Blocker is good to go either. The guys that you want to start thinking about are a little farther back that made that top off at the very end.
So we were talking about the speeds that these guys were running here a little while ago. Well, how is this? I just saw Robert Dudley do 195 miles an hour down the back straightaway there. Now, they're having to get it woed up a little bit going into turn 3, but we're seeing the speeds pick up here in the latter part of the run for some of these guys as the field's starting to wear off.
So no restrictor plates on these?
No restrictor plates.
Okay.
Almost doesn't feel like it. It's very, very much a pack racing type of day.
Pretty good for a car.
Are we setting ourselves up for a finish to beat last year's? I'm getting that feeling. You getting that feeling yet? I'm getting that feeling.
Well, I can't fight that feeling anymore for sure.
You gonna finish it? Do it.
No, I'm not finishing it. No. Man, look at this battle that Yazik is in right now here. Yazik toe-to-toe with Dan Guerin. I talked about the great restart that Yazik had, and he's kind of actually fallen back a couple spots. Alex Saunders with almost contact there.
Yeah, Alex Saunders. I think Brian Yazik didn't quite know Alex Saunders was that close to him. But Alex Saunders is there as well. Now trying to take away that spot there from Brian Yazik. Those guys doing what they can to make their way back up through the field. But so far, the only guy that's had any success, despite stalling for a few laps, has been able to get the momentum back, has been Jason Galvin, who has now climbed his way back up to 6th position. But I would have to say, guys, if there was one guy that has just moved through traffic like it was butter here today, it's been Jason Galvin. I know we talked about him stalling there for a little bit, not able to make a move, but that was the only time here tonight that he really found himself lodged in traffic and not able to do anything with it. Ooh, Dudley making a little bit of a power move. He's going to slide underneath Kinsella, able to hold it down. Loses a little bit of speed here. And I think the car tightened up on him a little bit there, too. He lost quite a bit of momentum to Andrew Kinsella. And might even have Jason Galvin take a look at him here. I think some of those guys back there, I think your Yaziks and your Saunders of the world figured out we better start getting single file. We might start losing these guys again. And they've caught back up to the back of this lead pack.
This is crazy. This is absolutely death-defying back here. 10th on back is just nuts, man. Wardlow trying to make it 3 wide back here. Brian Yazik, Ken Hacker. They'll hit 30 to go with the line, guys.
So the question becomes, who can make it? Who can't? Who's gonna have to stop and win? Oh man, lots of different fuel strategies at play here. Lots of different strategies, but right now we're green flag racing at Indianapolis, getting ready to come to lap 71 in just a moment. And this racing, like I said a minute ago, guys, I'm just getting that feeling that something is going to happen at some point, and it might very well be that last lap. If you're just joining us and maybe didn't catch the broadcast last year, we keep bringing it up. This was the most exciting finish probably in Retro Series history last year, coming to the line when the 5th place car, he was in 5th place going past the entry to pit road, and he came away with the win. And that was a crazy finish, and we might be setting the stage for something similar here today.
Kinsella just took the Budweiser car down into 1, put it on the rumble strips again, almost lost it. Now, it might be the fluorescent colors of Galvin's car, that Quaker State machine, but man, that car looks to be the fastest of all the ones that are out there. I'll give some advice to Havocatch. Just hang on a minute. You don't need to make this pass on Weaver and Wenson. They're going to be pitting here in the next lap or two. He's not listening. He gets 1. He gets 2.
Your appeal has been denied, Sue.
I'm telling you, the move is from 3rd. If you pass with trying to get around one car, the toe is not big enough to pass from 2 back. Oh, no!
Kinsella gets really tight underneath Justin Weaver.
Oh, no, he's around.
Is that Cody Wenson going around?
Oh, no.
He doesn't touch anything, though.
This is honestly not the worst thing that could have happened to the kid. He had to pit, he brings out a yellow, and he doesn't hurt the car.
He saw what was happening in front of him, took evasive action, and just upset the car enough. And he obviously spun it around. But if you think about it, guys, that was a great piece of driving on his part to not touch a thing. He wheeled that car through the entire spin to save it. I'm just more and more impressed by this young man here today. I mean, I really hope he's we'll see him again here in a few weeks.
We assume he's a young man because he's a rookie. He could be 65-year-old rookie for all we know. I hope he is, as a matter of fact. All right. Now this creates an interesting situation. We got, what are we looking at, 28 to go? Yeah. So if you were in question, if you had questions about whether you can get there, you can come in now, but here's that yellow flag that you needed. Maybe you stay out and risk it?
Well, I think right now...
Weaver's coming in for sure.
I think everybody comes in. I'm going to call it now. Everybody can come in and go the rest of the way from here. Why not? You know? Like, don't try to take a chance of maybe another yellow, because we don't know if we're going to get another yellow.
Well, not if I'm James Grahula sitting back in 23rd position with only 12 laps this time around. I'm not coming in. That's what I've been waiting for.
Moment of truth.
There comes the guy. We knew he was coming in, and the rest of them think they have enough. Some of them.
Don't forget, Grahula has that wing damage, though, too.
Oh, that's right. Guerin comes in. There's the big name coming in.
Galvin stays out. Kinsella stays out. You know, and another thing too is some of these guys that are staying out right now, they might wait until 1 to go to come down pit road, just for the sake of a little bit less fuel, slightly lighter car. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference, but hey, you know, it's an idea.
For those watching at home, yes, that makes no sense, but we'll just let them go.
You know what? It makes sense in my mind, and that's all that
It takes just as much fuel to get to the end. No.
And with that, before I go completely crazy, we'll go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back here on GSRC.
The SimPit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The SimPit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for the SimPit.
Welcome back to the SimPit 250 at Indianapolis. Watching Andrew Kinsella leading this thing here right now over top of Jason Galvin. And we're setting up for what might be just an absolutely crazy finish to the SimPit 250 here for today. And if the last couple laps were any indication, guys, we're going to be in for a whale of a ride.
You got Dan Guerin back there in 14th position. He's got Midwest Simulations on his car. He's also got Lock Precision, and I think that car is going to be a rocket.
Well, we're going to find out just what he has underneath him in just a moment. Mustang pace car pulling off the track. Andrew Kinsella waiting, punches it, and he's going to get a good jump on Jason Galvin. But as we've seen, that good jump is probably only going to last to about the short shoot. Draft playing a big role here for tonight. We're back under green at Indianapolis for the last quarter of this race. And here comes Jason Galvin getting a good run on top over Andrew Kinsella. Yellow flag already. Here it might be Greg West.
Boy. Big trouble there.
Well, no, actually, it's a car in front of West. Yeah, Cody Wenson. Now, West had just made a pit stop. You know what? It's Wenson up in front. Mark Alma.
Yeah, it looked like Mark. Well, one guy came out, one guy came up.
Here's the deal. It really looked like Lanini slowed down in front of Wenson. Lanini was low on the track, and Wenson moved up, and that's where the contact between him and Almec happened. Watch this. Lanini's on the inside. You see him drop down low there. Kind of a weird entry, and I don't know. That's just that whole thing, the way that developed was kind of strange.
They may be on board with Greg West because what's interesting is Krahula gets through, but West does not. Krahula's right ahead, and the C's part for him. He goes through. Wes puts it on the grass and he loses it.
Poor Greg.
End of his day, but his day wasn't going the greatest at this point anyway.
It wasn't, but he was out there running, trying to pick up some good positive points, and I'm afraid that's toast. Obviously, he's out of the car now. That's done. That car's
Yeah, well, his engine did blow. I did hear the engine blow up.
Okay.
So he was going to be done regardless. Now, I think the question's going to be is how hard did Cody Winston hit that wall? We know he has a very fast car, and I didn't see the suspension deform or anything when he hit the wall, but he does have his front wing is just tweaked just a touch. So we'll see what kind of speed he has. And should note also that Mark Amok, we haven't talked much about Mark here tonight. He's had a very quiet night. And in that accident, though, his front wings are fine. His rear wing is tweaked just a touch, but I don't see any suspension damage or anything like that. So he still has a chance to get out there and potentially make up some spots. But guys, this adds, in my mind, even more question marks about what might happen here the next little bit.
Well, actually, I think it's probably good news for a lot of these guys. These guys who are maybe close on fuel, Kinsella and Galvin and Blocker, that thought, do we have enough to get there? Now I think you don't have to worry about it. I think it's probably bad news for Dan Guerin, who came in and topped off on that most recent thing, yellow flag, where he could run full throttle and not have to worry about saving with the guys in front. Quick shout out, I can't help it, the Milk Dud. I'm not sure if that name is going to stick or not, but how about Robert Dudley in fourth? He's got ghost spurs on. He ain't afraid of no ghosts right now as he's sitting in fourth.
I want to know where his partner is. I know our director knows what I'm talking about. I want to know where his partner is. If certainly one half of the great tag team, the Dudleys. So.
I was trying to remember where you were going with that, and then as soon as okay.
All of our WWE fans just started jumping crazy from their couches.
If you put Ghostbusters on your car, does it really say how much you must really enjoy that franchise that you have Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2 on there?
And Ghostbusters 2, right? Exactly, right. I'm trying to even remember right now what Ghostbusters 2 was about. I mean, let's face it, Ghostbusters 1 stands on its own greatness, but 2, maybe not so much. I don't know, man. I just, like I said, I can't even remember the plot right now. By the way, going back to something very earlier when I first joined the broadcast, Burt Reynolds was actually in Smokey and the Bandit 3, but a very, very limited role. It was kind of a cameo. So
yeah. If I remember, I think it was like right at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, he's hidden most of the movie. They're looking for the real bandit.
Yeah,
right? There's a foul bandit and then the real bandit. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah, Smokey and the Bandit 1. The first one was the best one out of the entire series. As soon as they brought in the elephants in the second one, I was like,
if you're all too young to understand, these guys are talking about some good Burt Reynolds movies. I recommend you go early and check out a little Deliverance.
Gator.
Oh, Deliverance,
Gator.
Yeah.
Watch Gator. Don't miss Gator. What a great movie.
Start for race. It's more than a race.
Yeah, it's actually regarded as one of his. It wasn't well received when it happened.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, it's become a cult classic, right? And it's got some great scenes in that movie. I love it when Harry Gantz tells Stroker to put his rivalry there. Tells him to put him in the wall. And Gant just says, "Yeah, put him in the wall, Stroker."
Now there's a guy's name I hadn't heard in a little while. Harry Gant.
The Skull Bandit, baby.
Highline Harry Gant.
Yep. Believe he was the oldest driver to win a NASCAR, an official Winston Cup race.
That is correct.
Yes.
I remember 1996. It was one of the years I first got into racing. And Bill Elliott had broken his hip in an accident in Talladega. And Harry Gant filled in for him in that 94 McDonald's car at the Winston that year. And it was like really cool, because like I'd study the history of NASCAR and everything else because I've always been a big history buff. I was like, all right, so Harry Gant, running my favorite driver's car. All right,
Harry might have been retired for about a year or two actually when that happened. If I remember correctly.
I think 2 or 3 years actually. I think at that point.
You bring up Bill Elliott. Of course, he was just in a car at Road America here just a couple weeks ago.
Oh, I know it.
Welcome back, Bill. Awesome Bill from Dawsonville.
He was saying that might be the last time, though. We'll see. We'll see. You know those old school racers.
Yeah. I know his wife probably said it's the last time.
Right. That's probably why he did a road course as opposed to anything else. Lights are off on that Mustang iRacing pace car, and we're going to be going back to green here in just a moment. Just to recap your top 5, Andrew Kinsella running P1, Jason Galvin in 2, Adam Blocker 3rd, Robert Dudley, who I think is everybody's shadow pick right now, is running in 4th. And Brian Beard having himself a really good day as well, running in 5th, but he's got a couple of hard chargers behind him, guys. So we're going to have a couple guys looking to come up through the field, and don't look now, but Dustin Wardlow's been able to climb his way back up to 8th position. Of course, he ran up front a good chunk of the first half of this race, and you know he wants to get back up there after winning last time out at Loudon, and of course winning this race just 1 year ago. Dustin Wardlow knows what it takes to get the job done here at Indy.
It's against my religion to credit him as a hard charger, but Brian Yazik from 32nd to 7th. Of course, Brian didn't put in a qualifying time, so that doesn't count.
I would say I think it does qualify here today because he's done a lot of passing under green.
I still don't qualify him as a rookie. I think that's insane.
You want a real hard charger? How about the Milk Dud, 27th to 4th, Robert Dudley.
Soup, it's stuck with me. I don't even know the poor guy's real name now.
The more I use it, the more I'm liking it.
Poor Robert.
Welcome to the Lionheart series.
Mustang pace car pulls off. Welcome to 12:30 on the East Coast. Andrew Kinsella and the Budweiser machine getting a big jump. I keep saying that, but it never works out because Jason Galvin already beginning to catch him going into turn 1. Not as much of a run, but still pretty good run. He's going to try to look to the inside here, going through the short chute and into turn 2. So begin their trek down the long back straightaway. Adam Blocker now up there making his presence known as well. He's looking to try to make a move on Andrew Kinsella. And they've kind of broken away a little bit from Robert Dudley, at least here at the beginning part of the first lap.
Such pretty colored cars out front there. A nice red car, a nice blue car, and then that fluorescent yellow-green machine of Jason Galvin.
My spidey senses are tingling here with Beard and Yazik. They got the Candyman right behind him. It's getting me very, very nervous.
Andrew Kinsella makes a late move there to try to go to the outside of Jason Galvin. That right there made me nervous. I thought his front wing was going to flip his rear tire there for sure. They're going to go wheel to wheel here going into turn 1. But I know what you mean about your spidey senses. Mine have been tingling for the last 20 laps.
I'm sitting here clenching my teeth watching this.
I will say, though, that this field is broken up here in the first 2 laps of this run more than I've seen in the first 2 laps of any restart here so far tonight. So we'll see how that bodes here. That very well could also mean that they just all come together at once and just one big explosive finale fireworks show. We'll have to see what happens. But this race definitely starting to come to a conclusion, very quickly if we stay on the green.
On board with Dudley, Saunders just got by him.
Oh, 3 wide up front.
Yeah, I know.
Adam Blocker. He's making the move through the middle, trying to take the lead. He takes the lead for a brief second, but he's going to get tight there on that low line. But Jason Galvin not able to get back underneath him here quite yet. He does going through 2, and he's going to edge out of him here as they begin their trek once again down the back straightaway in Indianapolis.
And here comes Saunders. You know, but there's 3 wide. I'm telling you, this is what we're looking at. The guy from 3rd position is going to try to make a move coming out of 4. That's what happened last night. I'm telling you, the guy right now, Robert Dudley, is in the best position to win this thing. This game back there in 5th, it'll come to you.
So what was our closest finish a few weeks ago there? I think it was, what was it, Pocono, or that we had the closest finish in Lionheart history? I think it was too long ago. We might beat that here today.
I don't think so. I think we're going to finish this one. Cars are going to come across the line going backwards. This one, it's just too tight.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, I was wondering if they would all come together, and indeed they have. I mean, we're almost back to the point where we just got one big pack here again. Robert Dudley making
another run.
And he almost brought Yazik with him. If Andrew Kinsella had been just a few feet back, Yazik would have came with him all the way.
This is crazy to have this many cars competing. Honestly, to win. I don't think Galvin is safe up there, and well, I certainly don't think Blocker's safe either.
I'm not picking a winner at this stage.
No, this feels like a race of Talladega
making
right
an
now.
aggressive move, trying to do what he can right now from. I believe he is in 12th position. Dan Guerin starting to make a move here on the outside of Ken Hacker. Dan Guerin wants to get back up there.
But a little slower coming. He was back in 14th. He's picked up a couple. The Hacker boys are in front of him. Ron's in 10th. Ken's in 11th. And now Guerin trying to split the Hackers up.
Are you saying he's trying to hack him up?
He's got him split right now.
I did that for Joe Peak.
And that last time by there, I want to say it looked like a dead heat coming to the line between Alex Saunders. He's got the car sliding hard into the wall. We got one upside down.
Oh, it's
Sam.
Mr. Clean, Samuel Ryman.
Oh, it's Sam, and he gets hit by Travis Jagerleiner, who had nowhere to go. Poor Travis, just a passenger there.
Walker, Chris Walker gets into the rear of Sam, puts him in the wall. He pinwheels his way off the wall right into Travis Jagerleiner.
There's poor Travis just minding his own business. Look at this. We're going to go on board with Travis here. Wow.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Sam racing so clean out there with a cup of tea in his hand, his pinky up, racing. Spills it.
I hope the chickens are okay down there.
I don't think they are. Not this time. 'Cause I think Travis Jagerleiner caught him right in the chickens. That's
Might take me a moment to recover from that, Adam.
So it's Galvin, Saunders, Blocker, Dudley, Kinsella. Where's Guerin? How far has he made it up? 11th.
well, I think with that, guys, let's like one last break here on GSRC, and when we come back, we'll take you all the way to the finish. back to the SimPit 250 as the lights are going to go off on that Mustang pace car. The question is, will it be for the last time tonight we see those lights go off on the pace car? Sean's Spidey sensors are still going off over here. I can see his hair standing on end from here, so he's saying no. Soup, how do you think's going to happen here?
I would like to say we're going green from here, but I think we have another yellow. My only concern is, if we do get that yellow, let's get it before the point of no return. Let's see if we can finish this thing under green.
Last year, this race finished with a one-lap shootout, and of course culminated in a multi-car accident coming to the line where the fifth-place car, being Dustin Wardlow, ended up winning that race last year. Are we going to see the same thing happen again, or are we going to see it go completely green all the way through, or are we going to see another one, maybe even two cautions? Well, we're getting very close to all the answers being questions being answered. Is when we get the green flag, we're going to have 9 laps to go. Your top 5 as they stand: Jason Galvin, Alex Saunders, Adam Blocker, Robert Dudley in the Ghostbusters machine, and then Andrew Kinsella in the Miss Budweiser machine. So they around to turn 3. I don't even want to attempt to venture a guess about who's going to come away with this one, guys.
20 cars still racing, all on the lead lap. You want to be 4th coming out at corner number 4. We'll see how this plays out.
We've seen a lot of moves where guys have been able to power their way through in 4th position, 3rd position, all of them on a half a straightaway. And we'll see if that takes a role in the race. I think it will. The Mustang pace car pulls off. Jason Galvin ready to go as soon as it does pull off, and he is away. We are back green flag racing at Indianapolis. 9 laps to go. Let the craziness start. Jason Galvin has a good, solid run. Probably the best run we've seen all night going down to turn 1, and it will still all evaporate by the time we get to the backstretch. Here comes Adam Blocker and Alex Saunders. Ooh, Alex Saunders making himself a very strong move. He's going to try to completely clear Jason Galvin by the time they get to the turn 3. Can't quite get that part of the job done, but they're already swapping positions up front, but they're also swapping positions going from 4th on back. Robert Dudley having to hold off Andrew Kinsella. Andrew Kinsella having to hold off Dustin Wardlow. Could our winner come from this far back? It's entirely possible here.
Look, it's 3 wide. 3 wide in front, corner 1.
Jason Galvin on top of that 3 wide situation. Alex Saunders is the sandwich. Adam Blocker down on the inside. He's trying to hold it down. All that's letting Robert Dudley get way up there, but he has to let off. He's going to have to let Andrew Kinsella get on the inside. He might even lose another spot to Dustin Wardlow. But meanwhile, hey, Alex Saunders figures, oh, it's okay. I'm okay being in the middle. He's going to go again, and Andrew Kinsella's going to try to follow his lead. Can't quite get there, but he's going to find himself in his own 3 wide situation. Robert Dudley thought about taking it. Oh, no! Close. They're around. Yazik's in it. Dudley's in it. There was another car I couldn't quite catch in it. Yellow flag is out, guys, and that was before the point of no return. So we're going to go green one more time here.
Dudley gets loose, gets into George Anzaldo.
And Anzaldo
next Yazik.
Just gutted by that. That was
Anzaldo was the 3rd car involved in that.
3 really good race cars get caught up in that. Wow.
Now, Sean, you might want to cover your eyes on this one.
Yeah.
That's a SimPit onboard camera here with George and Zaldo. You'll see things happen in front of him. Robert Dudley just gets loose. Zaldo has nowhere to go. And great race that he had going comes to at least a competitive end. He might try to round it out, but he is missing almost all of his front body work. And here's a guy that went for a crazy ride. Yazik going end over end. That HPP simulation machine, side over side, eventually coming to rest on all 4s, but it took him a while to get there. But the Yazik, he had himself a great race run going, and that's not going to help him in those rookie standings.
You know, at worst, I think he had a top 10 in him there, and boy, God, just feel horrible for all those guys right now.
What was interesting is Blocker, the 3 cars in front, Blocker, Saunders, and Galvin. were running away from Dudley and fourth. Dudley was in fourth and losing touch with those three when they were running single file. And Kinsella and Wardlow were behind Dudley and really impatient to get around him. Then, I mean, the gap was really big. Then, when those three went three wide, Dudley just got a huge run, got up into it, and then the crowd all came with him, and that's when we ran into trouble. So there's that yellow. Get that one out of the way right here.
And at this point, I believe that once we go back to green, we'll be past the point of no return. So hopefully we'll get all the way to the white flag, we'll see what happens. But obviously tensions are high here at Indianapolis. Hopefully for a lot of guys, I mean, you figure that the entirety of the top 10 has a chance of winning this race.
Okay, let's go ahead and run through the field from 10th back and give these guys a little bit of a preaching here from Reverend Soup. Ken Hacker in 10th, Michael Goodman in 11th. The rookie there, Corey Eldred in 12th. Chris Lanini, you're back there in 13th. You're getting a little screen time here. There's Mark Amick. And then the guys with some damage, Corey Wenzen, James Grahula, those are 15th and 16th. George Anzaldo just had issues. He's in 17th. Jake Wright, he's a veteran. Don't have to worry about him. Not many cars left. That's basically it. Guys, I just gave you some love. I'm going to ask a favor. Nobody really cares whether you finish 14th or 12th. Keep the car clean, okay? You're too far back to win it right now. Let's see what happens up front. Was I too mean to him?
No,
Did I?
no,
Okay.
no, not at all. I think that was a fair request.
It's funny.
Spidey sense is still going off, Sean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know what though? It doesn't matter though, because well, they're coming around and it's only going to be 5 to go now, and like I said, it's not really going to matter. Somebody's going to win this race, obviously, right? They're either going to win it under yellow or they're going to win it to the green flag, and they're going to have to get a great start to do it. It's all up to Alex Saunders and Jason Galvin at this point.
Yeah, but obviously that tension's going to be really high up front. You expect some tough racing up front because they know that if a yellow flag comes out, it's the end of the race. They want to be up front when that happens. And unless we get all the way to the white flag, I get, there's so many ifs at this point.
I talked about people not learning from history, and I was giving Dustin Wardlow a hard time, but clearly he was just positioning himself to where he wants to be. As right now, the winner of last year's race, Dustin Wardlow, sits in 5th position. Isn't that where he was when he won last year? There you go. Right where he wants to be. Out there in the Wars Candy Car since 1909, it says right on the car. You know what else happened in 1909? Well, they had a big balloon race here. It's the first race that they ever had at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Sean, you weren't here. How far do you think the balloon race went? How many miles to win the first gas-filled balloon race in 1909 that left Indianapolis? I'll give it if you're within 50 miles.
50 miles.
Man, we went 380 miles. Come
Okay,
on.
Gives those guys no credit.
That's the first time, I thought maybe you start off small and you kind of build up a little
Well,
bit.
it wasn't the first gas balloon race. It was the first race from Indianapolis. They had them. I mean, gas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I misunderstood the question, sir.
Oh, Floaty McFloater was a great balloon racer.
Well, I mean, you say 1909, and I start thinking Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders. I didn't go to balloons, so.
All right, well, I know you all on the YouTube channel got that one. Are the lights off yet? I hope.
The lights are
Please.
off.
Okay.
I was hoping you'd go just another 10 years. We start talking about, another 5 years after that, we'd start talking about World War I.
No, Soup is not allowed to talk about any foreign incidents at all. Because it's just never good. It's never good.
Well, we're going to find out what's going to happen here in Indianapolis on September 6, 2018. September 6th for most of us. For me and Amjad here, it's only for another 9 minutes. East Coast here, you folks are be pushing 1 o'clock here by the time we get done. So late night here in Indianapolis, that's for sure. Although it's still bright daylight out, right?
That's why we like the left coast, Adam. Got to be a fan of the left coast.
You can't get your day and night mixed up. You had to go do night and then day.
Yes, it's true. I know it gets weird how this all works.
The opposite of the double. You did Charlotte first and then Indy.
Right.
All right. Watch out for Dustin Wardlow. He's in 5th. Andrew Kinsella, he's fast. Adam Blocker, don't know if he has this up. Jason Galvin's been good all race. And Alex Saunders, well, he's already got 5 wins under his belt. Maybe a half dozen coming his way.
Just waiting for that Mustang pace car for what very well, it will be the last restart of the night. One way or another, it pulls off. Alex Saunders waiting for it. He gets away. Jason Galvin actually gets a pretty good jump to go with him here. We are back green racing at Indianapolis. Well, if they get a yellow flag here, it will be the end of the race as we got 3 laps to go. Jason Galvin already getting a very good run here on Alex Saunders. Alex Saunders wants to make sure that he's going to try to keep Jason Galvin to the outside, but he pushes wide out of 3. Jason Galvin cuts down to the inside. Adam Blocker here is going to try to go 3 wide down the back straightaway. We're going to go 3 wide into turn 3 for what seems like the 50th time today, but this time it could be for all the marbles. Alex Saunders is going to slip back to 3rd. Adam Blocker is the one that gets the big run there coming out of 3. Alex Saunders already trying to get back to the inside of Jason Galvin. Jason Galvin's going to use that momentum, but Alex Saunders, is going to come right back up the middle. Whew.
3 wide down the front straight. This is a battle for 6th. I mean, for 7th.
Yeah, this already has shades of last year already going on. Alex Saunders trying to hold off Jason Galvin. They're almost locked with Jason Galvin gets loose. He is around. Yellow flag is out.
Saunders.
Oh, big accident. Car is upside down.
Poor Dan Guerin catches that coming by as Galvin was sliding across the track. That's Guerin on his lid. Oh.
Of course it's Guerin on his lid.
And that's going to give the race win to Alex Saunders.
I was going to say they could not afford to wait. You just can't afford to wait and make you move on the last lap because you fall victim to that yellow flag coming out.
You really could, and that's just a product there of hard racing with those guys. I mean, they almost locked wheels 3 or 4 times before that. But you're trying to go for every inch at the end of the race and trying to get what advantage you can.
Poor Dan Guerin, just nowhere to go there. You saw him; he was turning the car down and just couldn't get it turned down enough. He was at full speed.
Hey, he's not going to lift there. He can't afford to lift if he gets through. But yeah, feel gutted for him. Adam Blocker, Jason Galvin, all those guys were just in the running for the win. And Jason Galvin getting like 15 feet in the air.
Yeah, what was interesting on that contact with Saunders, it looks like Galvin was going to save the car, but then just quite couldn't keep it.
Well,
guys,
give Alex Saunders his 6th win of the season, and it's going to come at what I believe it would be. You could consider this the Retro Series biggest race of the year. Alex Saunders in his rookie season going to come away with it, followed by Andrew Kinsella and Dustin Wardlow. Dustin Wardlow again. I mean, he didn't pick up all the positions there coming in the last lap accident. He picked up a couple. He's going to finish in 3rd to round out the podium. Here comes Alex Saunders for the win. Pace car coming across the line first, but Alex Saunders is going to be the first on the grid, crossing that yard of bricks as many have done before him and many will do in the future. But Indianapolis goes to Alex Saunders here for the SimPit 250, followed by Andrew Kinsella, Dustin Wardlow, and to round out your top 5, that's going to go to Brian Beard and Ron Hacker. Excuse me. I get my grid mixed up here. Ron Hacker and then Justin Weaver, or coming in 6th position. So great race for those guys. Sean, you want to say something here real quick before you throw it to break?
Man, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go pack the truck because, hey, listen, I'm all about, pulling whatever kind of duty around here I need to. So I'm going to go pack the truck. You guys have fun in the post-race show. Really enjoyed hanging out with you tonight.
Well, thank you for Sean for coming over and making that trip over from Charlotte. And great having you here, and appreciate your presence here tonight. And with that, we're done racing here. We're going to be right back on GSRC in just a few minutes to wrap it all up. We'll talk to a few of the podium if they're able to get up into the booth, and send it home from there. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back to Indianapolis, and once again, a crazy finish this time to round out the 250-miler here in the Retro Series. Although it didn't come down to a last lap this time, but still pretty close. Welcome to the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show. If you're struggling to find something for the person who has everything, do I have the website for you? Plasma-tracks.com not only produces original racetrack wall art, motorsports trophies, home decor, and motorsport fabrication are also available. Words cannot do justice to the uniqueness of their wares. The only way to fully appreciate their artwork is to see it for yourself, but be warned, one visit and the next thing you know, you'll be trying to convince your spouse why you need a Plasma Track wall art hanging in your home. See it all at plasma-tracks.com. Okay, let's run down that finishing order and the craziness that was Indianapolis. In the top 10, shuffling a lot of positions in just those last couple laps. Alex Saunders coming away for his 6th win of the year. Andrew Kinsella in 2nd. Dustin Wardlow in 3rd. Brian Beard in 4th. Ron Hacker in 5th. Justin Weaver coming home in 6th. Ken Hacker in 7th. Michael Goodman. We didn't talk a lot about Michael Goodman here tonight, but we knew he was going to have a fast car. Comes home in 8th, Chris Lanini. And another guy we really didn't talk a whole lot about, a newcomer, Cody Eldred, coming home in 10th.
Mark Amick in 11th, ahead of Cody Wenson, the rookie. In the Baker's 10th spot, it's James Grahula. Jason Galvin, car got away from him. He's in 14th. Adam Blocker right behind him. They were caught up in that last incident. Jake Wright way back in 16th. The car was damaged. He really was not much of an issue. George Anzaldo. Dan Guerin, I have a lot to say, but I will say nothing. Robert Milk Dudley. He was running up front for a while. He's going to have to settle for 19th. Running out your top 20, Brian Yazzie.
In 21st position, a lot of these guys finding trouble at some point, including our very own Samuel Ryman, who going into this race only had 8 incidents the entire season so far. Well, he picked up 4 here today. Chris Walker in 22nd, Travis Jagerliner in 23rd, Greg West in 24th, 25th, Mark Cohn, Robert Lewin in 26th, Bart Workman in 27th, Scott Johnson in 28th, Frank Beezer coming home in 29th, and Bob Migas, another guy that had a lot of speed, but unfortunately got caught up in trouble, comes home in 30th.
And then the back half of your field, Chris Stouffer, Drew Adamson, Michael Lawler, another rookie down there, another rookie, Vern Hawkins III in 34th position, Tyler Groff. Then we have the 2 race stewards in there. So I believe we had 35 that took the grid.
So still a pretty big field for Indianapolis, and it showed. And I'm going to go ahead and let Soup here talk to Alex Saunders. And Soup, I have to think that with a 6th win of the year, Alex Saunders might have taken over the point lead after today with trouble Adam Blocker found himself in.
Yeah, it could be that way. Alex, congratulations on another win. You really couldn't afford to sit back and wait. That yellow flag could come out anytime, so you were in the right spot.
Yeah, that last stint, I think when we were down under 10 to go, you figure, you know, you're getting pretty close to next flag ends it, so I was trying to get up there.
Let's go all the way back to the pit stops where it was iffy if you could go the distance. Then all those yellow flags came out and you could come in and top off and all that. Was there a chance when we had like 38, 39 to go that you were going to be able to make it?
Yeah, I was sure I was going to be able to at that point. You know, if you're running in traffic, and especially at that point where I wasn't really trying to, you know, make moves and get up front quickly, you could save a lot of fuel in the draft. So I was just watching my number at that point.
You're my tire guy. How did the tires work today? Good to have new tires, or it didn't matter?
Well, after last race, I will never change tires again, so I can't speak to new tires, but
okay.
The old ones worked a treat.
All right, congratulations on the win. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, guys.
Alex Saunders, your winner. Adam?
Yeah, so let's, with that, bring down Andrew Kinsella. And Andrew was able to come home with a 2nd place finish here for today. Andrew found himself kind of through the field quite a bit. Andrew, wild ride today.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't the way that I envisioned this race going. But, well, I came home with the result, so definitely can't complain, I guess.
So with that last restart, knowing that the next flag could end it, were you trying to push it a little harder?
A little bit, yeah. They were running 3 wide in front of me, so I was just sort of biding my time, waiting for them to go 2 wide. And then I think I had something for them if Jason hadn't lost it there. It looked like he just got a little bit high and put a little bit too much wheel into it, too. And unfortunately, it took out Adam, and that's going to be huge for Adam's championship. So sucks for my team and for my teammate because, yeah, he did a great job. Both of us did coming back from some adversity, and we were almost there, and I was able to bring it home. Unfortunately, Adam wasn't.
So, well, yeah, I mean, I know you brought up the Adam Blocker's troubles there and everything else, but now, of course, here in a couple weeks, we're going to go ahead and go overseas. We're going to go over to Zolder. We're going to find you in the top 5 there.
I don't know about that. This car and the road courses haven't been my best friends so far, but you never know. Zolder is kind of a unique road course, a lot of chicanes and slow corners. So I think I'm a little bit too over aggressive with this car on the road courses, but this Zolder might actually play into my hand. So you never know. But I would say I'd be satisfied with a top 10 at Zolder, to be quite honest.
Well, we'll be looking for you there. Hey, Andrew, great job on coming home in 2nd here today, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thanks, Adam.
So that was your 2nd place finisher there Andrew Kinsella, and we'll let Soup here talk to Dustin Ward. But real quick, Soup, one thing I want to point out, Andrew Kinsella was one of our big movers in the point standings here this last time around. He gained 3 spots, and coming home second, he's probably going to gain a ton more here going into Zolder.
We got ourselves a championship, and one of the guys that's thinking about a championship is the man who finished third today, Dustin Wardlow. Congratulations. I want to talk about 2 things. I want to talk near the end of the race. You're running in about 5th position. You're battling with Kinsella, and you got the rookie Robert Dudley in front of you, and the 3 cars are beginning to pull away. Then they go 3 wide, and all of a sudden you guys are back in the mix.
Yeah. That was it's, you know, it got really scary there for the last few laps. I think you could have barely fit a slice of paper in between the back wing of guys and the front nose, the nose of others. But it was that was racing here. That's been that way in all of our practice races and stuff. I don't remember it tightening up that quick. But then again, this was for all the marbles. This was the real deal. So it got tight. It got tight. I'm sorry, for everybody's troubles today. Our team specifically was just having a bang up day, and we were doing the best we could. And I'm lucky and sorry for everybody else.
Yeah, well, you guys are racing so close. I mean, I thought you put on a great show for what you were trying to do. Let me talk to you about this, and we'll get you out on this one. While watching the race, it looked like if it's a 2-car battle, the car in second could make a move and get close to making the pass, maybe finish the pass. But to me, it looked like the guy who was third in line with the 2 cars going side by side, that was the way to make the move. Am I? You see what I'm saying?
I do entirely. Yeah. So after our first pit cycle, I got a speeding. I had to drop to the back, and I found out that the only way to get around people was if you could single them out. You can't go 3 wide into 1. But so the third place car has all of the opportunities, but you're trying to avoid a 3 wide situation. Yeah. If you don't catch them early enough, then you're 3 wide going into the turn. So you have to roll out, and that really hinders any movement there.
It was a great show. Congratulations for third. Good job for Dwarves Candy, and we'll see you down the road. Hey, we're going to Belgium, where chocolates were born. So what a better place to take the Dwarves Candy machine.
I'm loving it. Yep. Hopefully that bodes well for us there. I appreciate the sentiment, Soup.
All right, congratulations. There you have it. Dustin Wardlow here, our third place finisher. Adam?
The action, it's over for now, but when it's time to go sim racing again, nothing's going to beat the feel of a true hydraulic braking system from HPP Simulation, designed and manufactured in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment. HPP's hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, please visit hppsimulation.com.
And don't forget Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker products add instant immersion to any game. Unlike a subwoofer that moves air and loses accuracy and force, Butt Kicker products move actual mass, producing a haptic immersion that is powerful and accurate. Butt Kicker products add that missing car-to-driver connection, bringing more realism to and immersion to your sessions. See all the family of Butt Kicker products at thebuttkicker.com. Use this promo code LION20 to get 20% off your order.
If you need to know what Soup's favorite word right now is, all you got to do is rewind this broadcast by about 20 seconds. All right, well, tonight also brought to you by the SimPit, an entertainment channel dedicated to sim racing. Its focus is to bring you news, reviews, and information from around the world about sim racing hardware and software. It also focuses on what it takes to be a better sim racer, instructional video, and how-tos that'll help your performance on the virtual track. Check it out at thesimpit.com. And to contact any of the sponsors you see on your screen right now, go to lionheartracingseries.com, click on 2018 sponsors, read or scroll to the bottom, where you can click on the company logo. On the screen now are just some of the company's equipment and software that made this broadcast possible. The iconic original music that lets your ears alert your eyes. You're watching a GSRC production come courtesy of Erica Colm and June Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them.
The Lionheart Retro Series returns in 2 weeks for the Headwater Alpaca 125 from the chicane-infested Circuit Zolder Grand Prix racetrack. GSRC will be there. We hope you join us. We also have our other broadcasts on the screen right now, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, you can find it at www.Global Sim Racing Channel. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. That subscribe button is right there on the YouTube page.
Finally, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, Bill's on, our director, Amjad Yaman, and our camera artist, Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank you all for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. I always love the Steel Soups line. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.